It's clobberin' time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's clobberin' time! Clobberonimo!
Welcome. Greetings, friends, clobbers, clobberonimos, clobberooskies, clobberoids, clobberettes, clobber knights, and every other kind of clobber there is out there. To everyone else, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Whee! Clobberonimo! Indeed. Welcome to Clobby's Clubhouse. That's Clobby's Clubhouse number 90, but it's Clobberin Times number 611. That's on YouTube, and overall 1,311. And then, of course, it's a lot, I guess you could say. And our chief engineer will be along presently, but right now, let us welcome
Mark.
Damn it, Mark. We'll damn it him when we see him. But right now, let us say hello, my good friends, to the most wonderful, beautiful, fantastic first officer in the fleet, the extraordinary Commander R.M. Briggs. Welcome, Commander.
Good evening, Captain. Best friend. Love you with all my heart. I'm so happy to be here. Hail to the chat. I'm so excited to hang out with you fine folks. You guys make every Thursday. Every single Thursday. I missed you guys so much this week. I played These Are the Daves I Know, and I even posted it on my Twitter. That's how much I missed this friendship group and all my buddies here. Hail to the wrenches. Hail to everyone listening at home, whether you're going to download this and listen to it off the internet, or you're listening in like it's an old-time radio hour, or you're just listening to us in the car, if you're live in the chat and just lurking. I'm so happy that you are here, and I hope you have a wonderful time tonight. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and for supporting one of my best friends in the whole world and this show. You guys are just the coolest. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of my Patreon subs. I am a non-corporate author, and I publish classic, episodic science fiction. It doesn't admonish you, it entertains you. So I have to say thank you to Larry. He's just an amazing guy. Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and my doggy Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with the C, who's late. Damn it, Mark. Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Kirk, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth. and little Lance, who is our very own Porthos. He is the Thoth Beagle. And I think that ought to do it, boss. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Well, everyone, it's so good to have you here with us. I will start to do a little show notes and shout outs with no big hurry, but with the clubhouse. So it's all casual. We do this in nice, just like that's what the clubhouse is for. It's the pre-weekend hangout. You know, yes, we have a few things on the schedule, but we take it easy. You know, no big rush, just hanging out with you guys. And I'll shout out. Also, I'll do a show notes really quickly. Of course, I want to thank the great WDW Pro for having me. He and Jonas for having me on that great channel tonight. Earlier tonight, I was very honored to be there. And it's a great channel, big channel. If you haven't seen it, I was on there at the early tonight with them. And the guest Eric July, of course, Young Ripa was on there for a little bit, but he was not feeling well. And he was a special guest. They'll have him back on, I'm sure. But I got to meet him just for a second there. The man was not. He was ill, not doing all that well, so he had to bow out. So I hope he feels better. Eric July, I hope everything's okay. I think he's just been like to the doctor or something. So hopefully he will work through that. Big best wishes to him on that. And of course, congrats on all the success he's having with ISOM and his great comic. And listen, but again, thanks to those guys. And of course, I was thank the great Tom at Midnight Edge After Dark. I went on there after that. And then Tom, indeed, we're hanging out with that great group, and here I am now, my third stream of the night. So I've been streaming.
I would be pooped.
I started streaming about 6 hours ago.
That's ridiculous.
And now here I go again. I think I got like a 30-minute break between one of them. Between first two, I didn't.
Rolling. Keep that Clobby rolling.
So here I am. Here I am for some more. So this is about when did I start? About 5.5 hours of streaming so far with a little bit of a break, but now we got much more to go, and I'm just pumped up for it because I'm with my best buddies, you and of course our other best buddy who will be here soon, Mark.
Damn it, Mark!
Tomorrow night, hopefully I will be with the great Nick Weiser. I'm hoping to be there. Just depends on if some plans change or not. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, but either way,
Nick!
On his Friday night comic shop show, 8:30 Central, with the great D. Bud Martin joining us, reviewing some more issues of the Ditko run of Spider-Man. Cool indeed. The great J-Man, and we were going to have a stream about Batman 66, our favorite things of the issue, but he's pushing it back to next week.
Who made that poster?
The great J-Man, of course, and I'm looking forward to that.
Jay made that poster?
I could never do anything like that. He's a pro.
What are you talking about? You make posters like that all the time.
Not like that. Oh, that's way out of my league.
Jay.
That's what I'm saying. It's way out of my league. But anyway, looking forward to that next week, hopefully. And then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek.
Dun, 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 dun.
My friends, starting a new leg of our journey that started in January 2021 with my wonderful first officers. Our commitment to review all of real Star Trek 66 through 05.
Hold on. Stop the presses. Break. Hit the brakes.
Why?
That show poster is not a collage. It was written. It was drawn by could not be reached for further comment. That's insane.
Okay. Was it by him? Okay. I didn't know.
You drew that?
Wow. I did not know that. Well, I had no idea. I just got it from J-Man. He showed it to me.
That's remarkable. That's
no kidding.
Beautiful.
Well, that is beautiful work. Could not be reached for further comment.
Holy Kawasaki.
Wow. You did. Well, that's fantastic.
You are so talented, and that is absolutely beautiful.
Please forgive my ignorance. I didn't know about that.
You know what you have to do? Could not be reached for further comment. You need to sign that stuff. You know, HB, when he donated the art for my book, he didn't want to sign it. And I'm like, dude, that's a painting. You have to sign it. So like I had to twist his arm just to put the tiniest little mark of himself on there. You need to sign your stuff. Your stuff is cool.
Could not be reached. I hope it's okay that I showed it. Jay, I think Jay said I didn't know you did it, so I apologize if I'm out of line showing it. I thought it was cool because he showed me the picture, but don't blame Jay. He didn't say I could or couldn't. He showed it to me in the DM and I took it and showed it. So I'm sorry if that's not okay.
I don't think he's upset about that, but could
no,
not be reached for further comment. You need to
Okay.
watermark that and you need to share that on Twitter because I would absolutely love to show people how talented you are. That is absolutely beautiful. Catwoman and she looks so good. I do have a watermark on it, but yeah, I need to sign. Yes,
cool.
please.
It's wonderful work.
Yeah, do it because I want to share that. I cannot believe we have someone like you in our community. There's so many of you, so many creators surround themselves with other creators. Clobby is like a magnet for you folks. You guys are this is amazing. I got to take a look at it for a second here.
It's fantastic. Could I be reached? I love it, man. I didn't know. I thought it was just something that was made like from Photoshop. I didn't know. That's beautiful art, man. I love this show. And yes, I could probably name every character. That's how ridiculous I am.
This is so good. Look at Adam West. Look at Julie Newmar.
Brilliant work. Brilliant work,
Cesar.
sir.
My goodness, everyone looks so beautiful. Oh, wow.
He's got one that didn't have text put over. Oh, that's cool too, man. This is, wow.
Unbelievable. I just absolutely talented person. I'm just totally blown away. What a beautiful, you are such a talented artist. Thank you so much for being a part of our community and doing this sort of stuff. This is so cool. Beyond cool. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much. Hey, Fiona. What's up?
Fiona.
We haven't done our shout outs yet. Sorry, I jumped the gun. I'm just so excited to see Fiona because I'm that way. I like see it. I see a lady pop in and I turn into a cad.
Well,
okay.
No, it's that you are a Southern gentleman. You know what I mean? You and Dr. McCoy, you could hang out.
Well, it is just about me being a dude, actually, after all. I will admit it. Anyway, shout outs now. Did I finish my?
No, you didn't finish the Star Trek thing.
Sorry.
I was like, oh,
okay. No, Saturday Night Star Trek, folks. Continues our ongoing mission to review all of Trek from 66 through 05 and finished a monumental task of reviewing all of Deep Space Nine last week. Thank you all for making that a great time. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
And now we start with Voyager, but now, as we often do with the pilot episode, we're gonna just talk about the pilot this week. We can even make it a bit of a shorter show, talk about the pilot and stuff like that, and just kind of ease into it. Then the next week we'll start into the grind of 4 episodes per week. Does that work for you? Number one.
I think that was brilliant, and I tried to order the text. It's basically the only worthwhile text. It's the only text made for Voyager. First written in 2020. And it has all the great notes, all the delicious stuff that we're looking for in the behind the scenes production stuff, the directors, the writers, and
right.
that stuff that people think is essential. And also for fact checking, right, from original source material. But I ordered it off of Amazon twice, Clobby, and twice the books arrived with multiple corners crushed, which is weird because the book is a hardcover.
Yeah, so, Mark got it. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually really grateful that you always have just the right recipe for the week, because I'm not going to get my book. I had to order it from Indigo Chapters because Amazon just kept on crapping the bed. So I'm not going to get my copy from Indigo Chapters until the 18th. So it's absolutely perfect that we're only doing the pilot episodes. And once again, it's like you have the Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to gold. So I'm so happy that we're just doing the pilot, boss man, because I don't have the book.
I think that's the way we've been doing it. Like when we launched the first episode we ever did, we did both pilots because there were 2 pilots in the original, and then we
Yep.
The animated series we did a little bit different than that because it was wasn't really so much a pilot. But for a counter at 4, we did a counter at 4 I think Farpoint alone, if I remember right, and then the Emissary alone, if I remember right. So I just think that's the best way to do it, and then we'll start off from there. Pilots are special in a sense. So
well, they are, and and you're a big fan of character and concept, and I have a literary education and academic background. So together, when you're banging those rocks together, what you're getting is two people who love talking about what's going to happen, and how things are going to come together. So I think it's just, once again, sweetheart, you have the Midas touch. This is going to be perfect, and I'm going to have my book on time. I promise, Captain.
Don't worry about that. We can handle it one way or the other. And there won't be a geekery Sunday night, everyone, from Mark D, because he will be on another away mission. But Monday night, I'll be hanging out. How did that happen? Monday night, I'll be hanging out with J-Man on his channel, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. For 7 Eastern. He and Sean and I will continue our reviewing of our chronological order reviewing of the every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from the Silver into Bronze Age. And I know I can't even speak anymore. I'm so got stream brain, as they call it.
That's
I even have a brain. So there's that. Now we can do our shout outs. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good, boss.
I'm all over the place. Sorry. All right, here we go. Whether they're here or not, they get the shout out, including the great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher.
Evening, baby.
See you there, buddy. Oh, we love the great Eric K., and of course, the vindicated wrench of the Great White North, Chris Persia. Hey, buddy, thank you.
Hello, sweetheart. Thank you for a beautiful show poster, just making these wonderful advertisements for us all over social media, and using your social media to promote, one of my best friends in the whole world. You are helping to build his channel and helping to build this community, this show, and all of Clubby's shows. And I just love you and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. The great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron.
Resident mathematician.
Yep, and he adds up for sure, and it's always good hanging out with him in the next one.
Sorry, I love it when you say that about D-Bud.
I'm sorry. I bet he doesn't. The great Lord Thoth. I bumped into him at a show somewhere when he was wrenching today and got to talk to him. I don't think he's here tonight, but our good buddy Lord Thoth, the god of wrenches, and shout out to him, and of course his lovely goddess of wrenches, his Lady Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, buddy.
Yeah.
And of course, he is my partner in crime on Earth B, fellow Legionnaire, the reviewer extraordinaire, and the wrench without fear, the great J-Man.
Yeah, and J stands for Jason. And the reason why I'm telling you his first name is, you really need to follow Jason on Twitter, and you need to track down his Amazon store, because Jason, like me, Jason is a Canadian author. And he writes horror stories, and his wife is an award-winning poet. So not only does Jason have his own YouTube channel where Clobby hangs out with him, or they all hang out together, but Jason hangs out here, and he's got that store where he's publishing these great horror stories, and his wife is publishing this award-winning poetry. This is our friend. Jay's a really great guy. So if you like good content, give him a follow on YouTube, or you can weigh it in by following him on Twitter. But I definitely say support indie authors, independent authors. We're anti-corporate. We're non-corporate people who just want to reach our audience.
They're non-corporeal beings.
It's true. Good one, Clobby. That was smooth, Clobby.
Hungry boy. Master of the Cluboni comics artist extraordinary. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Hungry
sweetheart.
boy. HB. Stephen Kal-El, Super Wrench Supreme.
The real soup, baby. The real soup.
Indeed. Thor in Vegas. Maddie's daddy, the wielder of French Mjolnir.
Kiss Maddie's face for me, please.
That rascally wrench himself, Fanty Outsider.
Hey!
Clobberin Time's own music master, Maximum Redstone.
Maximum Redstone.
Music Meister. I love that episode. He probably, I don't know if he's seen it. Anyway, so now I'm going to run back the chat and say hello to our friends that aren't riches that we need to shout everybody out because you're here. Hey, it's the clubhouse. We're just hanging out. No hurry to do anything but hang out with you all.
Yeah,
End
we
of
have
the
some
week.
new people here, and so it's going to be really
a
cool
second,
to
I'll get 'em.
introduce ourselves. And just so you know, Clobby keeps talking about this clubhouse thing. This was Clobby and Mark's idea. We used to do this off air on Thursday nights. We just hang out and talk about geeky stuff, about nerdy stuff, and the guys just said, you know what, we should bring everybody in
Mark.
on this.
I'm not giving him any credit.
Okay, not Mark.
Just
Damn
me.
it, Mark. But the guy, but Clobby had this idea, and I mean, it's such a great idea because this lazy, swazy, just talking geek and nerd, so naturally and involving everyone in the chat. It's great fun, and we never know where the show is going to take us because I mean, Clobby is like the grand poobah of all of geekdom. He's like a comic genius, and Mark is like the merchandise guy. And I'm just the nerdy person who loves Star Trek. So, and everyone in our chat, well, they're just the finest group of people that you ever will meet. So all those new folks tonight, you're in for quite a show. I hope you have a great time.
Our shout outs begin. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. What's up, buddy?
Hey, baby.
Brian Hepburn, my friend.
Evening, Brian.
Hey, Bubba Doom 1, what is up?
Bubba Doom!
Your favorite, the Gwag Man's here.
Wagner.
Indeediousness. The man named twice is here too.
Larry, a man so nice. You should say his name twice. Larry, I love you, honey. Good to see you. And Larry is calling for a get those nerds.
Well, if Larry wants it, you do it.
Get those nerds! Nerds! What?
You'll never get enough of that one either.
Me neither. I love it. It never gets old.
Nerds. Where are we at? Oh, JT Kirk.
JT Kirk. He is Kirk.
I am Kirk. Ravenscroft 82. What you say there?
Evening. Nice to see you.
Good to see ya. RJ Godzilla.
Cool.
Or is it RJ Gojira? That's the actual pronunciation, but I know RJ knows that.
Oh, nifty.
All true Godzilla fans know that you say Gojira.
HB loves the Gojira stuff.
Gojira. Me too. Simply Steve 68.
Hey, sweetheart. Nice to see you.
Penny. What do you say, Penny? I hope you got some rest last night. She popped
Good
in
evening,
last
Penny.
night. Couldn't hang last night. Things going on with the grandkids, so I hope everything's going well for you. There we go. I appreciate you saying hi to us last night, though. Don Ranger Power. Don Ranger Power. I like that. That's Donnie, our buddy Donnie Pearson.
Donnie Pearson has a new handle. Donnie!
Yeah. I like it, though. Don Ranger Powers.
Very cool.
Yeah. I like it. Look. Sean Carter from Mars. Matthew Pounder, what is up, brother?
Matthew Pounder.
All right, Matthew. Sorry, my stupid chat slipping on me. I hope I don't miss anybody when it does that.
Don't drop it.
J-Man, gasp! I'm lurking. Choke. We're in these old comics that we're reviewing, every now and then, instead of just saying, they say the word gasp or choke or sigh or sob. So we've been doing it now. Gasp. Oh, old comics. I love them. Okay. Hey, we're getting there. Mighty Orbots.
Hello.
What is up, buddy? Always good to see the great Mighty Orbots here. Hey, is it Read by Nature? Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know. I can't see it. The chat's my
Okay,
chat
I
Read by Nature?
Is it Read or Read?
I don't know. Read by Nature, Read by
Read
Nature.
by Nature. Read by Nature, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Probably not. And then you can easily correct us on it. Feel free.
Yeah.
But welcome to Clobbering Times.
It is nice to meet you, and thank you so much for the compliment on my cosplay. I am a cosplayer, so I'm always changing my avatar to the different cosplays that I do. This is a Bishi warrior. I have completely done this costume myself. The only thing that was purchased was the belt and the wig. Everything else I made. And I regularly cosplay this Bishi warrior. I have been doing it for several years. So I really appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much.
The aforementioned great could not be reached for further comment.
Impressive.
Greatly talented. Man, what an artist you are. And also
impressive. Like truly impressive.
But also a great regular and friend to the channel. It's good to see
Yes, he is.
The great Dave C. What's up, buddy?
Dave!
Dave. Dave to the 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 Dave, Dave to the Dave, Dave to the Dave, Dave to the Dave, Dave. Sorry, Dave. I gotta stop it. Sorry. I can't stop. Let's see here. Hang on. I have the chat wound way back, everybody, so I can't see anything yet. I'm trying to see anyone. Try not to miss anybody.
Reed says that it is Reed.
Okay, thank you kindly, Reed. Hang on. The aforementioned Fiona M.
Well,
Lovely to see you. Love you to see you there, lady. Once, twice, three times, Fiona. Michael Beacom, what is up, Kemosabe?
Michael Beacom.
And a shout out to
I want you to
Cassandra.
walk right over to Cassandra's face and smooch her on the cheek and let her know that everyone at the clubhouse says hello.
And when she says, "Get out of my face, I'm watching something," blame Raquel. So.
Yes, you can blame me. I love Cassandra.
Let's see. Oh, my big thing is, Reed Bunny says, my big thing is, big thing with Voyager is I have a lot, I would have liked it. Okay, talking about Voyager. I got you. So, yeah, we'll be talking about it for a long time. So,
and please feel free to join us on Saturday nights for Saturday Night Star Trek.
Free.
8 p.m. Mountain. I'm not sure which
9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Yes, and we would be so happy to see you there.
Keely Chow, roll that tide. So.
Hey, Keely, nice to see you.
Yeah, buddy. Claude Salling. What's up, Claude Salling?
Hey, Claude.
Always good to see you, my friend. Alaric Harrelson.
Hey, Alaric. Nice to see you.
Alaric. One day I'm going to get that right. I'm going to make it sound. No, it sounds crappy the way I say it, Alaric, and I apologize. I'm just not good at saying things. I'm terrible at saying things. Sita, and am I getting this one right? Another new friend. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
The Sita work, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I always like to know, but I'm going to go with that. Sita, welcome to Clobbering Times. Always great to have new people pop in.
And you got a wonderful and generous gift from the Beacom's, boss.
Michael Bacon, thank you for that, my friend. You're too kind. He says, went to the dentist this week. They want to pull some damaged teeth. I told him, no problem. I have to watch all of Star Trek Voyager, so nothing they wanted to do could scare me. Whoa. You evil, bad person.
Oh God, so funny.
It's the first time here.
Sita.
Oh, Sita. Okay. Sita is okay. Well, Sita it is. Welcome indeed. And thanks, Alaric. Appreciate that. So right now, I think we've shouted everybody out. Anyone else, as you all know, it is tradition here to shout out anyone who pops in. Well, in the course of the show, what we do here, though, folks, for those who are new, well, Clobbered Times, the channel. I have 4 shows a week, all on 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Monday nights, it's Monday Night MARC Comics Talk, but that should be self-explanatory. Comics are talked, of course. Wednesday nights, Wild Card Wednesday night, which usually can be just me just hanging out. Mostly me having a wild card free-for-all with you, talking to you all wonderful people and bouncing off a few things going on, but nothing specific. Once in a while, I'll if I need a place to put a topic that's not comics, that's where it goes. And of course, we have our lovely Thursday nights, which is tonight. It's called CLOBBY'S Clubhouse. My wonderful first officer and our great chief engineer, who is usually here with us, and when he can make it, and he will be here later, Mark D. We hang out. We talk about various things, including we review things. For example, tonight we will be reviewing an episode of Tales of Tomorrow, which, of course, is a science fiction show from the 1950s. We'll explain that in a moment. And then a brilliant science fiction show from the 1970s, Shadow, or AKA UFO, or Jerry Anderson's UFO. All right, buddy. Good to see you there, J-Man. Choke, sigh, gasp, and all that. And
you're leaving? Thwack.
No, he'll be there. Whack.
Whack.
We will pals that wowie. We will review an episode of each of these shows, Tales of Tomorrow and UFO, Jerry Anderson's UFO. And then we also have another feature. We review a Star Trek comic book. So, and then of course we do all kind of other stuff. We show pictures of toys and comics and just whatever geek crazy stuff we can come up. We talk a little Trek. We go all over the place. We just sometimes science fiction films.
Joseph Dredd just told on Larry. He has tattled on Larry. Larry has done it again, folks. Larry has purchased memberships. We cannot see that on this side of StreamYard. So thank you so much, Joseph Dredd, the judge, for telling us what was going down, so that I can interrupt the captain and tell him what a marvelous friend, what a generous friend Larry is. Larry, thank you so much for building this community. I love you so much. You are so generous. I don't even know what to say. Love you, honey.
Oh, what happened? I miss it. Oh,
Larry's buying memberships for people.
Oh, thank you, Larry. Oh man, dude, you're too kind, buddy. Thank you so much, friend. I don't know what we do without good friends like you guys. I mean, I'm not worthy of you guys, but I really appreciate you. Let's see. Ravenscroft said, "Do you have plans for TV reviews once Star Trek shows are completed?" Yes. In addition, the Clubhouse will do various things, of course. Ravenscroft. After, hey, Captain Infinity and Beyond, what's up? The Master of Time, Timicus Maximus.
How come Don Power Ranger or Ranger Power is tagging Sander? Is Sander here?
I don't know.
If Sander's here, I missed you. Sander Hammerslag. If you're in the chat, sweetheart, I can't see you, but I'm waving hello, baby.
We may be lurking. And by the way, we thank all of our lurkers. You don't have to raise your hand if you're there just lurking. That's your privacy. That's your business. I do it too sometimes. I lurk a lot of streams where I don't have a chance to say anything in the chat. Captain Infinity, I lurk at your place whenever I can, when I see you on late at night, and other people's places when I can. I try to get in there, throw a like, and listen, and whenever I can. And it's just that if I'm doing something where I can't holler out, at least I lurk. And we appreciate all you lurkers. And anyone who's listening later on a download or a rewatch, we thank you so much for that. You mean the world to us.
Oh, boss man, Brian Hepburn just said it was because Sander accepted the gift of a membership from Larry. Thank you so much for telling me that, Brian.
Thank you.
And Bubba Doom.
Thank you, Bubba Doom, for the super chat.
He has to leave.
That you're too kind. Thank you. He says I might have to duck out of the kids and grandbaby. Baby Doom just got home. If I do, know all ye are all awesome, as you are. Thank you so much, man.
Love you, Bubba Doom and Baby Doom.
And have fun with Baby Doom.
Smooch the entire face of Baby Doom.
Bubba, look, she doesn't understand. She's a woman. She can get away with that. Dudes, different. Baby, can't smooch the faces of babies. I mean, we want to just as much, but it's just like it's uncool. So you don't want dudes are more like pinchers. We pinch their cheeks. Go, oh, you little.
Just don't pinch too hard.
No, just enough to aggravate them. You gotta understand. You have to aggravate kids at a very young age if you're gonna make them tough. So yeah. That's probably what's wrong with our generations that are coming up now. Their parents weren't annoying enough to them. I'm not talking about cruelty now. I'm talking about aggravating. I mean, nag them and, do all kind of stuff to annoy the hell out of them when they're very young and they don't even understand they're being annoyed. I guarantee you they grow up very stable and with good sense of humor. I'm telling, and they'll, of course, be torturers themselves, but in a good way. That's how you raise kids. Hey, Come to Clobby for all of your parental advice needs.
Look
Blunt.
at this beautiful message from Bubba Doom. He says, laughing out loud, I did smooch her. I got a semi-toothy smile. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Oh, sending our love to you,
Oh,
Bubba
man.
Doom. Have a great evening with your family. You will be missed, sweetheart.
Indeed. Blunt Philly Reviews. What's up, buddy?
Yay!
Yeah, got to keep it, not wimpy. That's right, bub. Let's see.
Sean Carter says he loves to give baby smoochies, zerberts, and all the kisses. Yes, the zerberts are the best because it elicits baby giggles, and baby giggles are the best giggles ever.
Well, I did too when it was my kids and even my nephews when I was a lot younger. It's just nowadays I don't have any little kids I can do that to without looking weird because I'm an old pile of rocks. Captain Finity says, oh, I promised to never write a time travel story myself. I lied. Scotty goes back in time, Scott, to the future. Coming in. Yeah, well, Scotty needs to go back in time. He could use it. I think we should banish him back in time like the Weeping Angels do. Just kidding. Just kidding. Not being mean to Scotty. We are being mean to Scotty. Make sure you're letting Scotty know we were being mean to him. Not we, just me.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Finity is mean enough to him as it is. So, well, let's see here. What's going on? We got.
Well, it is 9,000 degrees in my office. Like,
you need to put that window down.
It's hotter than heck in here. Well, because we have very poor air quality today. You're supposed to keep all of the windows closed due to the wildfires. And so you're not supposed to be breathing this air. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the mute button and I have to open the window. I am melting.
You need to hit a fan or something to get some ice.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got you. Don't hurry. Do what you got to do. We're right here. Well, and so in a few minutes when Raquel is back, we will commence with some reviewing and stuff. Let's see. What's that? Chris Persia says, Clobby, as men, we offer a finger to baby in order to test their strength and see if they can crush it before commencing head crush. Kids in the hall. Okay. Yeah.
I love Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. We used to get aggravated. You have to do something. I'm just not going to go into it, but it is important to aggravate children and pick on, tease them till they turn really mean. I'm kidding. But no, tease them till they have a good sense of humor. You could go too far with it, but I got mine to the point where they have good sense of humor because they like to mess with people,
Ravenscroft, where I am at, it is 8:45. I am in the foothills of the Alberta mountains.
Latverian advice, says Matthew Pounder. Yeah, that's it. It's from Latveria. Oh, there you go. Simply Steve. Clobberisms. I have so many of them. So, I guess we could, you want to maybe start out with a review of our first of Tales of Tomorrow or something?
Sure. I think that would be good.
I hope I watched the right episode.
Well, it's difficult to watch the correct episode because it's really all over the place, especially when you're trying to watch Tales of Tomorrow internationally. Folks, we are celebrating short stories and a healthy relationship with corporations. And that's what storytellers used to have. People would write these amazing short stories, and they were sci-fi authors. They would, they were inspired by science, or they were scientists or researchers or academics. And they'd write these beautiful science fiction short stories, and they would connect with Hollywood with these amazing teleplay people who would convert those short stories into teleplays and put them in celluloid. And so there was this healthy relationship. Nowadays, corporations have these teams writing, and so it's corporate writing rather than, showcasing real art and showcasing craftsmanship. So that's why we're exploring Tales of Tomorrow. This is it's a throwback to the time when we all really enjoyed that non-corporate storytelling, where corporations were only used to facilitate artisans. So this week on Tales of Tomorrow, we are covering The Window. Through some research, I have discovered that this episode was also called The Lost Planet.
Little Scotty, welcome.
Good evening, little Scotty. And so I'm not sure why it's called The Lost Planet, but it is.
I think I know.
This is season 2, episode 12. It was broadcast on November 7th, 1952, in the USA on the American Broadcasting Network, or ABC. This particular episode, obviously, it has summaries that you can get a hold of on IMDb and elsewhere, but they're really crap. The summaries are absolutely bloody awful on these user-generated sites, so I usually just write my own summary. So there's no copyright. I don't have to call anyone out here, in-text citation, as it were. These are just my own notes. This story was written by Frank D. Falita, and here is my summary. The regular live Tales of Tomorrow is interrupted by a strange broadcast. It's through a window. It's 3 people sitting at a kitchen table. They've been up all night. They've been drinking heavily. It's a bitter married couple and what appears to be a friend. The transmission is real, coming from a nearby apartment, the product of some natural interference, or so the station manager says. As it turns out, the husband is a horrible, abusive brute who is an extreme alcoholic, and the friend and wife are having an affair. Tonight, through the window, we find out that they are plotting to murder the drunken husband for the insurance money. But we find out the wife doesn't want to. The Tales of Tomorrow television station on ABC, their personnel begin to panic as they deliberate on how to find the people and stop the murder. So we go back to Tales of Tomorrow in studio, and then we return to this broadcast. Okay, and the show keeps doing that, going back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah, I think maybe Lost Planet is a reference to what the show they were planning to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be a.
And they were doing it, and it kept getting interrupted by the.
Yep.
I think that's what they were planning. By the way, FKH, I know you're out there, buddy. So you're lurking. So thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
That would make sense. I didn't actually catch that the show that they were going to be broadcasting was The Lost Planet.
That's a guess, a total guess. I don't know.
Because the audio on my copy watching this was absolutely horrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
Like, I could barely hear it. I had to ask my husband to shut off the air conditioner in our bedroom because I couldn't even make out what they were saying. The
terrible.
Audio. Yeah, it's terrible.
Awful.
So at one point, through the window, the wife, through the broadcast window, the wife becomes hysterical. The boyfriend mauls her as she tries to convince him not to do it. And by mauling, I mean he shakes her quite violently. He covers her mouth, and not
Often.
in a loving way.
Often. Very often.
Yeah. It's super violent. It's not fun to watch. And then it's revealed through dialogue that the husband is a notoriously clumsy alcoholic. Apparently, he's quite accident prone. He's gotten himself into a lot of trouble being inordinately inebriated. So in my final notes here, I just put, this is a stage play. I don't think that this is fit for television. It's not science fiction. I think that this would be more what would be classified at the turn of the century as what they would call weird tales. It's
more of a Twilight Zone type thing.
Yeah, it's more weird tales than sci-fi. And I did not, as a science fiction author and a science fiction fan, I didn't feel satisfied with what would be recording and broadcasting this. And then I had put in my notes, even more bizarre, the original and baffling title, The Lost Planet. But having missed whole sections of the audio of this episode due to the way that they have tried to be, folks have tried to rescue these episodes. It was just in a state, and I didn't even hear that the original episode was supposed to be The Lost Planet.
Mega Cropper's here, by the way. Hello, Mega Cropper.
Mega Cropper. Hello, sweetheart. He says husband? Yes, husband.
Yeah, the husband. By the way, like you said, not only was the audio muffled, the video is really not very good either. So
No.
I didn't know until I saw the credits. Rod Steiger is in this. Rod Steiger. I think he's the husband, but you can't tell who anybody is.
Yeah, and it didn't matter which one I tried to access. That was the case. So I'm sorry, you know, uh, I haven't committed this to memory. I mostly only commit academic things to memory. There's a finite amount of space it appears in my brain, in my middle-aged brain. What is the capture of these films called again? It's a machine that where you play it on the television and it records the television. What's that called again?
How do you mean?
It's a specific form of recording off of something that's already playing. Anyway, you and Mark gave me the kinescope. Kinescope. Thank you, HB. The kinescope is so the kinescope recording is so bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel grateful that this episode was rescued, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if you go on archive.org, if you go on YouTube or wherever you're trying to fetch this episode from. It's exactly like the captain said, the horrid audio visual. For me, the audio was the worst, and for Clobby, the audio and visual were bad. So I guess I can say that I think this is a really super cool idea. You have to imagine that this is supposed to be taking place in 1951. And so here you are and you're watching this television program. And people in 1951, most people didn't go to university. You would get jobs doing other things. We had a thriving middle class. There were any number of things that you could do without a college education and have a beautiful life. So it takes advantage of that sort of lack of technological education or knowledge. Because it plays into this, I believe he calls, the station manager calls the phenomenon some type of static ether. And of course, that still doesn't account for what's happening here. I guess what he's proposing is that it would somehow be in a waveform that was caught by the broadcasting mechanism, which is complete and utter hooey. So I do think it's a cool idea, but I think that it could have been explained in a better way. I think there could have been a better mechanism for expressing how this is happening. Perhaps a devious person or something like that. So for me, cool idea, but poorly told. What did you think of it, Clobby?
Well, it's pure fantasy. This is something that Serling. I'm surprised, but he did reuse some of these scripts. This would have been an absolute perfect Twilight Zone episode because he would have had a little bit of a budget behind it. And for those who are not clear, I mean, it's really so stagey. It's really kind of, they just do not have the means or the facilities to make this story work. Maybe I don't care about a special effect. I'm just talking about logic. I mean, here they are. They're a troupe of actors trying to make a play, do a radio play, right?
Yeah.
Or a TV play, and
it's supposed to be going live to air,
right? A live TV play, and every time they try to broadcast whatever, this goings on in this home, which was just this girlfriend. I mean, this love triangle going on where these two are trying to plot, the old two plotting to kill the husband thing. Two people plotting to kill a woman's husband, is just keeps showing up on the screen. They keep seeing what's happening.
Yeah.
And at first, it just doesn't really fit in the logical pattern. Why are we seeing this?
Yeah.
Why, of all things, why is that being transmitted just to us?
Mm-hmm.
Which they were seeing on their monitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were an acting troupe. They were seeing it on their studio monitors, if I remember right. I mean.
Yep. And they had to cut the broadcast.
Right, they kept having to cut the broadcast, so they didn't broadcast it. And then they decided, well, we got to call the cops. But they had no idea what they were seeing. But they realized I mean, it's just such a weird fantasy concept that works so well in something in like a Twilight Zone format, but
Yeah.
there's no science fiction method of explaining it.
No,
Unless
and
now in a modern day, it might be because you have people film each other, each other all the time.
yep,
People intrude upon each other's privacies with cameras and
that's
all the time.
correct.
But in 1952, no one had that kind of technology.
Yeah, and I think that there could have been something really juicy here if we would have had some type of trial by alien. If the aliens had uh, if aliens had descended upon Earth and taken over the broadcasting station and began to broadcast the worst parts of humanity. So in one of the
Yes,
broadcasts, it's a horrific murder. In one of the broadcasts, it's somebody who's embezzling, another person who's abusing an aged person or a child. And so I think I would have moved it that way if I would have been on the writing team here, moving this into a teleplay. I probably would have said to the lovely Frank D. Felita, we need a mechanism here. And I think that
right.
that would have been a way to facilitate this story, so that it was engrossing, and so that the believability and the science fiction aspect or the science fantasy aspects of it kept
Yes,
people immersed in the story. Otherwise, you're just saying to yourself, why is this happening?
yes. And Michael Bingham, I can see it. I can see it. Twilight Zone or Night Gallery easily. Night Gallery is a little bit more creepy than this would. This story wouldn't need to be Night Gallery level creepy. I don't think. I mean, you could, of course, because there are a lot of things that are similar on Twilight Zone and Night Gallery. There are a lot of things on Night Gallery that would never be done on Twilight Zone. Whereas Twilight Zone went everywhere. Twilight Zone went fantasy, science fiction. It did it all.
Yeah,
Psychological drama. It did it
yeah,
all.
and in academia, I see time and time again this moniker of weird tales. So at the turn of this century, you really saw an amalgamation of these short stories in the form of weird tale collections,
Right.
and certainly the Twilight Zone exemplifies that, where you get a sort of mixed bag of one story is science fantasy, one story is science fiction, one is pure fantasy and maybe steeped in allegory, and some of them have this intense horror feeling to them. So yeah, but I still think this story, you could rescue this story if you made it about aliens recording different people doing horrendously human things that we ought not to do, are appealing to our lesser angels and broadcasting it, and then having the Tales of Tomorrow folks have to come together in the studio to decide how they're going to do this and if they're going to broadcast it. Is it ethical? And when the police show up and say, who's recording this? How is this happening? We get woo, crazy, creepy music or whatever. So, but we don't have that. So it's kind of spoiled. I'd also like to tap the brakes for one moment here, because we have a young woman in our chat who's a physicist, and her name is Fiona. And she was actually, when we were discussing the kinescope,
Mhm.
she was actually articulating the science that I love so much. Thank you so much, Fiona. I just love that you're a part of our community. That telecine or telesign is the opposite of the kinescope, and that would be when the television is captured and put on film. I'm actually I'm not a geek. I'm just a nerd. I've never studied a film, so I would have to rely on the geeks to tell me that. But I definitely love that Fiona has provided that technical distinction, because I'm not sure what's actually happening with Tales of Tomorrow. 1951, when you're looking at communications and technology history, and you're looking at that historiography, certainly there wouldn't be a lot of televisions in the 1951 home. So Fiona's made a salient point. It would be nice to know which is happening here. Is this film to television or television to film?
Yep. Well, oh, by the way, let's see. I was more partial to Outer Limits, but I think that's because the '90s revival was more prevalent. I love the original Outer Limits. Read by nature, our buddy Mark D loves both. So yeah, I mean, this one was one I would say was perfect for Twilight Zone. That's just me though. And Rod Serling would have made this one just. It's almost sad he didn't do this one. I think he could have just been something. He would have found a way to have a better, more grounded explanation of what was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, Fiona, I meant no insult on that. I have a baby sibling that is about your age, who I cared for when he was quite young. But I'm assuming that because I saw something on your Twitter where you revealed, I believe, the song that you loved when you were born. But I absolutely meant no insult. I actually meant affection by that. I think it's really cool to have a woman and a physicist in our community. I love it so much.
It's not that young. I mean, to me, everybody's young to me. So but
yeah. Well, that happens after 50.
Yeah. So
after 50, you're like, oh, people are so cool.
Whatever your age, Fiona, you're one of us. So it's all matter.
Exactly.
And then we have such a great group here. Always, not just Clubhouse nights, the other nights as well, but such a great group that we're in various ages. The only people older than me are old goats like Phantom Outsider and D. Bud Martin. Those guys are freaking ancient, but
they're ancient.
But,
they wear cement gitch. Gitch is a Canadian term for underwear.
At least I get to be younger than somebody. Not many. Not many. But,
Penny has to go to bed. Can everyone please say goodnight to our marvelous friend Penny? Penny, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for saying goodnight to everyone. And as the cool kids say, sleep sweet. I love that new saying. I think that's such a cool saying.
Penny. Oh yes, indeed. Was it Michael says favorite song? The Beatles made it to America. No, made it to American 2 weeks before I did. Favorite song the Beatles made. Well, love it. So, hi Zathras. What's up, dude? Zathras is 110. Clubby is young man. Thank you.
Oh, Fiona, thank you, sweetheart. I try.
Yeah,
it gets harder as the higher up you get in your age, the harder it is to keep that stuff up, and the harder it is to be motivated.
She's a youngin'. Just won't admit it.
Oh, I love
youngster,
that.
Youngster.
Please keep. Yes.
It sucks getting old. So if I'm calling you young, I'm trying to make you feel better.
Well, I accept that.
Well, it's true in your case, though. You are young. So, everybody here's younger than me. Even D-Bud's younger than me, really. He might be chronologically older than me, but he's young at heart. He's probably so old he's asleep now, aren't you, D-Bud? Come on, man. Oh, man.
So boss, I'm gonna just go ahead and rip out the rating here. It just tear off the Band-Aid. Everyone knows I love this show and I want this show to succeed, but I think this was a real lost opportunity on behalf of Frank de Felita.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to have seen some aliens here, make this science fantasy or make it science fiction. Make their technology something that we don't understand, like the Guardian of Forever, where they're able to broadcast or imprint their feelings or their sights, what they're seeing, their visual accounting of humanity, and broadcast that into the television network and have the television network grapple with the ethics of it and have the police come rushing in saying, who's doing this? How do you have this footage? Where are these people located? And just flip it all the way around. And then I think it would have been a 10 out of 10. But the way that it stands now, I just don't think that it reaches the science fiction fan. I don't even think it reaches the science fantasy fan. I think this is more weird tales. And I think it's a stretch too far for cerebral folks who are looking for a little bit more. There's just too much to take you out of the story here, and not enough to keep you inside of that brilliant little world. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10.
All righty, a 2 out of 10. Wow, okay. Mega Cropper gives it an A, I guess. I mean,
oh, nice, Mega Cropper. That's great.
I'm guessing that's his rating. I don't know. It just says A. It doesn't say anything else. If we're going by numbers instead of our usual things we do, I guess I'll probably go ahead and give it like a 4. Just for I think it was an interesting idea. It was such a crazy concept. The fact that I'm giving them a little bit more than they deserve, simply for the fact that they gave such an outrageous thing a try. I thought that's pretty bold on their parts. And, they gave it a shot. There was an earnest shot, but didn't quite work out for them. I think, again, I still can't get over that that's Rod Steiger, and I can't even notice. I can't even see him. And I know he's young at that point, but wow. And then he stood up and yelled and said, "No fighting in the war room." Oh, it's a different Rod Steiger scene. Sorry. Anyone who gets that reference is good.
Yeah, it's a shame, but you know what? I can see why Mega Cropper likes it. And I would also just like to say that Mega Cropper has been supporting this channel and watching this channel for a long time now. And Mega Cropper is a man of few words. I'm flattered whenever Mega Cropper decides to pipe up and say something, because I value your viewership and your support. You've been around a long time, so really appreciate it. And I do have to say, Mega Cropper, that I really like the idea of this. Like, I think this is cool, and I think in socio-historical context, if you're somebody in front of the television or you're in your local theater where this would be broadcast on film and you're watching this, I think it would be very fresh, and perhaps if you were rich enough to own a television in 1951, quite frightening. And so rewarding it for that property and for that aspect of it, I think is a good thing to do. So I don't disagree with your rating.
So let's see. It says that was 4, 7 of 9. 4, 7 of 9. We all love 7 of 9 because she's hot. But
that was for 7 of 9. Oh, he said it was 7 of 9.
I'm teasing with him. I don't know if he means 7 of 9 or not, but I'm not sure. So let's see here. All right. Well, I knew somebody would get the reference. First of all, Simply Steve said 3 out of 10. The story was lost halfway through. There you go. Thank you. Okay. But yes, of course, Joe Dredd got it, and so did Dr. Strangelove. Of course, yes, George C. Scott said that. Larry and Joseph Dredd got it. I'm sure a lot of you also got it. Oh, there's Fiona getting it perfect. Gentlemen, you can't fight it here. This is the war room. Thank you.
Nice.
Fiona, well done. Yeah, great movie. Dr. Strangelove. So, what? Massive Rod Steiger fan here for Raquel. He starred in the 70s film version of The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. That was a weird movie. He might intrigue, right? That would be it. Yeah, I would like to see what she thinks of The Illustrated Man. That is a weird ass movie, boy.
It's a movie.
Yes.
Is it also
It's a book? Yeah, Ray Bradbury. Oh yeah.
It's a book or a short story. Which one is it, HB?
I think it's a novel, isn't it? Pretty sure. I don't think it's not. Don't think
with Ray Bradbury, it could be a novelette. It could be a novella. Well, it could be a novel. It could be a story.
HB will know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a book because I read the book way back. I remember I actually read it after I saw the movie because the movie was running back in the 70s somewhere or on TV, on cable, I think, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least back when I saw it. It's for a collection of short stories. Good. Okay, there we go. According to Michael Beacom.
I read a lot of Ray Bradbury when I was little, like that very little.
What do you think of that movie, HB? It was definitely something to be seen. It's now it's been 40-something years since I've watched it. So it's but Rod Steiger, what a weirdo in that movie. I love him. So yeah.
Yeah, HB, I'm struggling to do that. I've actually switched gears, and I might I'm strongly considering moving my doctorate in that direction. Just, I would like to reinvigorate that type of storytelling, because it does have something to do with communication, historiography, and the intersections of media, technology, and society, and different ways of communicating. And of course, in this case, we see the death of magazines, which was the primary transmission for these short stories, and that's how they got into popularized and then put into that celluloid form. We even have in Tales of Tomorrow Arthur C. Clarke, or what is reported as Arthur C. Clarke's first short story in celluloid. So I would like to see people return to short story, have their big brains tickled in that way again, and be able to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I admit I'm a bit of a stickler on that. It's a dumb pet peeve to have, but it is one for me, Captain. He said, yeah. A trade paperback ain't the same as a graphic novel. I learned that from Clubby. Blame me. But yes, take it up with. Were you in that argument with somebody? Yes, I'll take it if you want. Yes, not everything in folded up or in quote unquote book form that is a comic book is a graphic novel. When you see that at the Barnes and Noble, I want to go and like rip that off the damn bookcases. They're not graphic novels. They're trade paperbacks or hardcovers. They're compilations of comics, with the exception of the ones that were made for that format. In fact, Marvel even had a line in the 70s, early 80s, called Marvel Graphic Novel, and it means these were comics made for that particular format. They were magazine size, thin but round bound, not staple backs, glued, and they were not necessarily book bound either, but they were somewhere in between. Those are graphic novels.
Yep.
Book bound, smaller books that are square bound, rather hardcover or softcover, are compilations. We call them trades. We call them hardcovers, but we don't call them we don't call them graphic novels in the business. And it made me insane when people, every time I see someone, did you read the graphic novel of Watchmen? No, Watchmen was a comic book first. It was staple back, and then it got compiled into a reprint book called a graphic novel, called a hardcover or a trade.
Yeah.
The Watchmen was never a graphic novel.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's important for people to understand the different forms of prose. And I love that little Scotty said in the chat, short stories are hard to write. Yeah. Yes. And I think that's why people stopped writing them, because short stories call upon very extremely dense writing. You have to have a lot of trust in your reader, because your reader is expanding the world inside of their mind as you're moving that furniture around in their mind. And also short stories, because they're episodic, they rely on ideas, not feelings and relationships. So you can have these long novels where people get involved in the emotional and intimate lives of people, whereas a short story, especially in science fiction, is focusing on that idea, and so it becomes very important. And little Scotty, that's why I'm considering switching my dissertation material to that topic, because it's in science fiction. I believe that it offers more than catharsis. I think that it's vital to the imagination making of engineers, of physicists, of astrophysicists, of academics. In Cooper, in my master's thesis, I talked about how Cooper, who invented the cell phone, was famous for telling people that he saw Captain Kirk with his communicator, and basically he I'm not paraphrasing, these are my words, but he says, I wanted to put the guts in it. And so short story and science fiction and that idea making, I think, is vital to our society, because dealing with the concepts of futurism, technology, technological advancement, alien life, extraterrestrial, encounters, these are all very important things to the intellectual and emotional needs of human beings, and it helps us to invent, it helps us to innovate, it helps us to dream. It's more than just catharsis. So thank you for your beautiful comments. They're so encouraging, little Scotty.
Let's see here. Hey Ray Lucard, welcome. Good to see
Hey,
you, my
Ray.
friend. Now we'll give Mark a little bit more time. So before we get to our other reviews, because Mark wants to review UFO with us, so we'll give it some UFO. Give him a little bit of time. Read by Nature says, "I like hearing RM impart knowledge. I can hear the gears ticking in her head, and yet don't feel lost.
Oh,
She is
thank you
good
very
at
much,
that. It's
Reed.
what she does best. I would call her Teach, but I know it aggravate her. I'm tempted to just tease her and call her Teach all the time, but
That's
she's too
okay.
good.
I don't
I never-
mind.
No, I never hung out with teachers before, so it would feel weird.
Well, I like for my students to call me professor because the world has changed in a very different
Prof.
the world has changed. So at the outset of academia, master's
There he is.
degree, there were all these masters, and they did the teaching of adults. And so when people call me teacher, I always have to tell them, I always have to correct and say, I don't teach children. I'm not involved with the care or the tutelage of small beings. I only teach college level adults. So, but I hesitate to use prof because it's
Can I say
fallen out
prof?
of favor for masters to be the teachers. Now it's PhDs, but that's the way the system goes, I guess.
I just like the way prof sounds, though. It's like they say that's like almost like a smart ass way of saying it. Like, come on, prof. Hey, prof. What can I do for you, prof? Instead
Well,
of teach. Or
The
doc.
thing I don't like
What's
about
up, doc?
the thing I don't like about the fact that now the universities feel more comfortable only hiring the PhDs is not only have they changed the historical relationship of masters and their students, but they make you have to pay an additional $100,000 to get that final parchment. So here you are, you get an undergrad parchment, or like me, you get several undergrad parchments, and then you get your master's parchment, and then you have to get your PhD parchment. It's like, so are we to be impoverished our entire lives?
Did you know I'm a post-hole? I'm a PhD?
I didn't know that.
A post-hole digger? Sorry, I have my post-hole digger. Well, he's here, the first engineer, or the chief officer, or whatever the hell he is. I don't know. He's late.
Damn it,
as always.
Mark!
He's late, so he doesn't get to talk until he listens to this.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I'm an engineer, not a magician.
Never that way.
God damn it, Mark. Jeez.
What's up, dude? Welcome, Chief Engineer. Are you there? I don't think he's here.
Oh, here we go. Nope, my mic was off. I boomered it.
What the hell?
What the hell?
Did you have your microphone on mute?
Yes, it was on mute. Well, I have two, you have the mute and StreamYard, but there's also a switch on my mic, so I guess somehow it was on. Someone must have come into my room and put it on mute, I guess.
No, that was
it
me.
wasn't me. Yeah.
That was me.
You missed all the great things I was saying, but
Oh, my.
I heard the word of engineer a few minutes ago on cell phone, so that's when
There you go.
time for me to get in here.
I was
Had a
talking
hungry
about
bear
Cooper
skin.
again.
Yeah,
Buddy?
that's what I heard. Yep.
Yeah, I was talking about
Yeah.
Coop and talking about his love affair with Jane Roddenberry's communicator.
Most
There you go.
excellent. Yep.
Well. What's going on, duder?
Well, I did have pizza tonight, and there were no clams.
Me too.
Harmed.
Oh,
I
too
did have
much, in
fungi,
fact.
though.
Oh,
Disgusting. So you
had
had sea
mushroom.
tongues with
No.
Pizza talk.
No. I had meatballs, onions, and mushrooms.
Oh, okay. Well, I like the fungus, but Andy and Clobby don't.
Yeah.
Any more pizza talk, and it's
Your agonizer, please.
No fish, no fungus.
well. Let's
To
talk
quote
about
Ghostbusters.
things that you don't eat, like episodes and stuff. By the way, what did you?
Yeah.
What you got through talking about Tales of Tomorrow episode? And
Oh,
giving it a
that
very
was-
low rating. You like that
Low
one?
rating? The TV show
we-
one where
Yeah, we loaded it. We were pretty mean.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was interesting. I mean, for back then in the 50s, I thought that was kind of a groundbreaking
Yeah.
thing to do, to open that fourth wall and
Just
see
didn't
what-
work.
I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting, and then
It's a fair.
just that whole what was happening and how. I guess if you watch it a couple times, but to do that on TV
Yeah.
back then, I thought it was pretty innovative and pretty groundbreaking. I don't know if any other show had done anything like that up to that point, but maybe the story wasn't the best. the best story, but I thought it was kind of
Yeah, I don't know.
cool.
They probably should have been on Twilight Zone and had something of a budget like Rod Serling handled it a bit better. But it's a fair cop since society is to blame. I agree. We'll be charging them too.
I like Fiona's comments in the chat. Yeah,
Just what,
Fiona,
no
things have changed. College professors used to have bachelor degrees and university professors used to have masters, and now they expect everyone to have a PhD, and it's become a ridiculous process. You wonder if you're ever going to finish.
I tried.
And it's so much money. I would be finished right now, Fiona, but I don't have the $84,000. I could whip up that dissertation in a heartbeat. I love research. I'm a certified researcher, and of course, I'm a writer. One of my undergrad parchments is in writing. So I would gladly finish it, but I don't have the $84,000 to do it. If I did, I'd finish.
I hear you there. I tried for a master's degree and ended up with a Bader's degree instead. So, Oliver Belamonte, hello there. Sorry.
We just got to we got to figure out how to turn lead to gold, like on Tales of Tomorrow, and then you're all set.
Yes.
So,
which can be achieved. Remember, we found out through science that it can be achieved, but it's just ludicrous to do so because of the teeny tiny amounts created.
Oh, Larry just gifted 5 Clobbering Times memberships.
Another one?
Thank you, Larry. Yep.
And, thank you,
Steve got
Larry.
one. Apollo's Minion, Death Ray, GGG, and the Dork Knight is here. Yep. So hell,
they here?
Just gotta. They're here. Well, I think you have to be here. I think you have to be here to get the.
Well, thank you all for being
here.
Thank
you, Larry.
Good evening. I love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, greatness. So are we ready for our next review?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. It is, of course, folks, Jerry Anderson's UFO, also known as UFO. UFO. Do you have
Yep, I'm gonna get the multimedia presentation going.
Juxtapose. Hello there. Welcome, my friend. Time for some UFO fun, folks. What a great time. Yes. The episode tonight, episode 19, in color. The cat with 9 lives. It was a swinging cat. That cat with 9 lives. He'd walk in and everyone would say he jives, but he... Oh, sorry. Wrong show. I got nothing. I don't even
You have
know
the Golden Bible of Hope and Fun?
Oh, I do have that. Let me grab
Do you have your gloves on?
Let me put my gloves on. Hold on.
Especially with those pizza hands. Damn it, Mark.
Damn it, son of a bitch. Damn it, son of a bitch. Damn it, son of a bitch.
I got the Star Trek Voyager book, so it's on top. So that Voyager book is heavy. We'll have to talk about that after, but a lot of nice color pictures. Oh, it was a cat with. Oh, I typed the cat with. It's a cat with 10 lives. I typed 9.
10,
lives.
not 9.
Yes,
this cat
10.
has an extra life. Damn it! Don't take a life from him.
I thought it was a cat with 10 lives. I'm like, what did I put on the screen? Oh, I can fix that in Photoshop.
Why?
I'll have to go fix that, and I'll change it in a second.
Engineers, they love to change things.
That's hysterical. Yep. So let me, as I'm loading up Photoshop, let me read the explanation of this episode. The episode is The Cat with 10 Lives. Do not believe what's on your screen. I just got deducted and took a pay deduction for that mistake.
Shin kicks.
Following a teleplay by David Tomblin, directed by David Tomblin. Yep. Following a UFO attack on Moonbase, in which interceptors successfully destroy 3 of the alien spacecraft, intercept pilot Jim Regan returns home for a well-earned vacation, only to find that his pregnant wife, Jean, has arranged for them to visit cousin Albert Thompson and wife Muriel for dinner. On Muriel's suggestion, they try out a Ouija set. I'm never Catholic student kid. We're never allowed to play Ouija. Just saying that was a big no-no. That was delivered anonymously earlier in the day. But during the session, Regan appears to go into a trance. On their way home, Jim stops the car to avoid hitting a Siamese cat in the road. They're suddenly attacked by 2 aliens who run to the couple unconscious, taking them back to their craft. Regan is subjected to a barrage of lights and sounds, but then finds himself back in the car, powerless to stop the UFO lifting off with Jean still on board. Regan rushes back to Shadow HQ to report the abduction, and the cat follows him into the complex. Straker returns Regan to duty on Moonbase, explaining that every astronaut is needed on standby as the Venus probe makes its final approach. Then Dr. Jackson reveals that the results of a recent alien autopsy show that this alien was totally human, suggesting that the aliens have found a way to wipe the human mind clean and implant their own thoughts in its place. It seems the aliens actually have no physical being at all, but inhabit other bodies and use them as vehicles for their consciousness. The UFO carrying Jean breaks cover and becomes a sitting duck for Regan's interceptor. But Regan comes under alien influence and allows the craft to escape into deep space. Back on Earth, Straker relieves Regan from duty and replaces him with Foster on the Venus probe mission. But as Foster sets off for the spaceport, he's attacked by a strangely feline Regan, left unconscious on the studio backlot. Making his way back to Moonbase, Regan joins the Venus probe escort, but then sets his interceptor on a collision course with the base. Captain Minto and Lieutenant Conroy attempt to shoot him down, but their vehicles have been sabotaged by Regan. When Foster describes Regan's attack on him, Straker realizes that the pilot is under the influence of alien consciousness implanted in the mind of the Siamese cat. He unleashes a pack of dogs being used in the making of a commercial, and they track down the cat. The alien's grip on Regan is released. However, it's too late for Regan to pull out of this crash dive, and although he manages to overshoot the moon base, the interceptor crashes into the rocks beyond. Let's see, notes here. An additional scene at the Thompsons' house is filmed for the episode, but deleted from the final edit. While Gene helps Miller with the dishes, Jim discusses his job with Albert, who believes that Jim is a solicitor, which is a lawyer in England, correct? Yeah. And Albert then tells him about the tobacco he uses in his pipe and his new film about butterflies. Dr. Jackson's role was originally written in the script as a character named Dr. Zdrowski. When Foster leaves Shadow HQ for Moonbase, he exits what was at the time the UFO production offices at Pinewood Studios J&K Stage Administration Block. The standing set of white buildings at the top end of the J&K car park, that's British for parking lot, also seen prominently in Timelash, had been built several months earlier for Andrew Sinclair's The Breaking of Bumbo, 1970. The script for a period film about World War II that Miss Holland passes to Straker for his approval is actually a shooting script for The Cat with 10 Lives. So they passed the script during the shoot. So guest cast: Canadian actor Alexis
Canner, my boy.
Yeah, Jim
The prisoner.
Reagan. Yep.
This
made
is
his screen debut
prisoner
as a
trifecta.
Right?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, made his screen debut as a teenager in the French language Canadian drama series Beau Temps, Mauvais Temps, Good Times, Bad Times. Shortly after he emigrated to Britain and appeared in Philip Leacock's disturbing wartime film Reach for Glory, Terence Young's body comedy The Amorous Adventures of Moll Flanders, 1965. But his big break came with a regular role of DC Matthew Stone and BBC's long-running police series Softly, Softly. This led to 3 appearances in ITC's The Prisoner and roles in Crossplot, Connecting Rooms, and Goodbye Gemini. Canner has written, produced, and directed 2 films, Mahoney's Estate, 1972, and The King and Desperate Men, 1981, and has also been seen in Nightfall. 1988. Yeah,
that's a Ray Bradbury adaptation.
For 1 second, yeah. Larry,
sure.
He's using the one that I was lusting after. It's the Anderson. It's the licensed Anderson one, and it's mega expensive. I don't even know how Mark got his hot little hands on it. This is why everyone needs to follow his YouTube channel, because he manages to acquire things. But that's why I covet. I covet.
Gotta go to confession.
Yep, sorry.
Cover your co-host is a UFO book, right?
Just the book.
Just the book. Yep. So let's see. Okay, Geraldine Moffat has made several television guest appearances on Danger Man, The Baron, Adam Adamant Lives. Yep. Out of the Unknown, Department S, Stranger Port, The Crusaders. Let's see. She's
College
probably
board.
best known for roles in the ill-fated Glenda and Mike Hodges' Get Carter, 1971. Yeah, that's the Michael Caine movie.
Right.
As Stella and Ralph Thomas's science fiction drama Quest for Love, 1971.
Okay, I have
Oh
to
wait, this is
interrupt
interesting.
again. Sorry.
Oh, wait, just
Sorry, I
Oh,
just have to interrupt again because our good friend is really asking for help here. And the thing is Larry will actually want to buy this book. I know Larry what he's like. The book Larry is called The Complete Book of Jerry Anderson's UFO. The hardcover is currently on sale at Amazon.ca on the Canadian side of Amazon. So it's Amazon.ca, not Amazon.com. And it is $848.88. And that is a used copy. So I don't know if it's out of print or not because I'm Canadian. I would need to enter the Amazon through the American side of the border and get it out for you. But Mark has been helping folks locate copies. So perhaps we can connect you with Mark after the show and Mark can connect you to a reasonable copy. But once again, the book is called The Complete Book of Jerry Anderson's UFO. And that should help you find it, Larry. And Mark, I would just like to apologize for so rudely interrupting you.
Oh, that's
please
all good.
continue, my
That's all
friend.
good. Yeah. No, there was something. Well, here, let me show the cover of the book. Let me find. I had a good. Let's see, which was the better quality graphic here. I think. Let's see, which one was the right one here. So yeah. So basically, what I do is just. Got to just stay on Fleabay, as we like to call it here, and just stay on top of that. And I have that as a search. So whenever it comes up, and I got lucky and I got it for I think $70 or $80. So there's the cover of the book.
That's the soft cover, though.
That's a soft cover. Yeah, the hard cover is unobtainium too. Yeah, it's got basically the same text. I think maybe they'd updated a little bit or had a different forward, but
I think the complete book of Jerry Anderson's, that's more centralized and it doesn't have the red border. Also, it's the interceptors that are in the foreground, and then in the background, it's Paul Foster, Ed Straker, and then of course Gay Ellis. So that's what the hardback looks like. And basically, like the hardback is just I'm so covetous. I'm actually ashamed of myself for wanting something so bad like this book. This book is just so beautiful. Mark has a soft cover. I wish I had the 848 skins to get the hardcover because I would do it in a heartbeat.
The tough thing is, probably when it first came out, it was $30 or $40, and then yeah. So I'm sure these weren't highly printed, but I was lucky that the copy I got from the person on eBay is mint condition. It's gorgeous. So it's, just shipped to you.
And he's not lying. Mark showed the book. And it is mint condition. Like if you were going to go onto Abe's Books and you were going to bid on it or whatever, and because at Abe's, if you're sitting in the audience wondering why we're talking so much about this, it's because books are graded. So in my world, a book gets heavily graded, just like your guys' comics do. And so they have value. The value increases the better shape they're in. And I would grade Mark's copy mint. It wasn't even opened, which I believe is an American convention. There is an actual convention in the United States of America, if you shop on Abe's Books, where that is one of their grading systems. I purchased one of those books. So I purchased a book that was in mint condition, but it was also graded as unread. So it was quite spectacular that I was able to get that because the book brand new, I think it was around $400, and it was something Clobby told me to buy. Or told me about. Clobby enabled me. But anyway, this is the sexiest book. So we're not overselling. This is no hyperbole. This book is sexy, very rare, and very expensive.
Well, I guess Fiona just said in the UK you can get it for $87. Yeah, and getting any of Anderson's stuff in the UK is prices seem a little bit better, a little more common, but then you get zonked with the shipping. But yeah, sometimes you can get a great deal. Or Retro Dickie, our buddy, if he ever comes to visit, yeah,
Jeez.
Retro $100 here, yeah. Come visit and bring
crying.
bear gifts and come bearing gifts. Yep.
Just
I'm
crying.
Yeah, it's just but I'm lucky to get this copy. And it's
shape, but
the nice thing is this book is so
you
well
are
done,
correct.
too.
It's not just Mark. I think Mark is rubbing off on my Clobby, because Clobby is sometimes an enabler as well. But you know how Clobby gets me, RJ? He tells me about the origins of certain books. And that, you know, there was this like dime store novel or whatever that was written before, and lots of people say, oh, you know, this idea was taken from here. When he gets me that way. He gets me that way every time.
I know not. Whatever do you mean?
I'm
true. An enabler? No.
Yes, baby, you're an
talk.
enabler. I got like a $400 book for how much did I pay for that book?
I don't know.
I don't even remember. And it was entirely Clobby's fault. And when it arrived, I was like, oh, I wouldn't even take it out of the plastic.
Oh my God,
I was trying to read it, but I was like barely opening the pages because it's such an expensive book. But I was so happy to be told about it.
Oh my goodness, I would never do such.
Yeah, you do that all the time.
Right?
I just like talking. I don't know if we're going to go buy stuff. And
when you go literary on me, you know I'm going to put out the
I
bucks.
can't read. By the way, Michael Bigham sent me a link to the hardcover on what is this on eBay? That's $99.
Go get it.
How's the shape?
If you can afford it, like that.
Oh, I can't afford that.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And Mega Cropper, I love you, sweetheart. Thank you for saying that. That's incredibly kind of you. I appreciate all of you so much.
If I could afford that, I'd be getting it for you right now, but I can't afford that.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's insanely expensive, but it's so beautiful.
Expensive. Anyway, where were we? The episode, maybe?
Okay, well, this is a really cool fact. So, Gene Regan is
his wife.
His wife, yep. So her son, Sam, and she's very, very handsome-looking woman, I thought. Very cute. Yes. Her sons, Sam and Dan Hauser, are two of the founders of the Rockstar Games company, games label. So Rockstar Games is massive. So her two sons must have been geeks and nerds and computer geniuses because they founded Rockstar Games. So that's wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah,
she was cute. This episode's got a trifecta for Prisoner fans. David Tomlin, who directed it, not only directed one of my favorite episodes of Prisoners Living in Harmony, he co-wrote some of them with McGowan, including Rival. He directed this, and of course, he was the second and first unit director on stuff like a bunch of the Star Wars movies, Indiana Jones films, and stuff. The guy did worked on a lot of amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So he was. A lot of big movies too. First assistant director on a lot of them.
Yep.
And Clobby, I sort of dropped the ball here, so I want to apologize to everyone in the chat and in the audience. I was remiss as I did not start the opener. This is UFO, the cat with 10 lives, but because this is an international group, I just want to say this is season 1, episode 3, USA. This is episode 18, ITV, for the Commonwealth. I'm in Canada. And then this is production code 19. And this first aired on September 30th, 1970.
Turing Machine.
Turing. Alan Turing. Alan Turing. That's great.
Hey there.
Great name. Yep.
Welcome. Yes. So
I'll continue with the
10 lives.
Okay, I got to change that
9 lives.
Yeah. I was just waiting to see if anyone would notice, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
the ticket.
Yeah. So actually, I'm changing that right now. Yeah. as we speak. Yeah.
Dang it.
The good thing is with
damn it,
these fancy dancy computer graphics, it's It's easy to do
Yeah,
with
well.
the Photoshops. That's all right.
Yeah,
though.
Alan Turing machine. I can't. I just absolutely love your name.
Yes.
You are so incredibly cool. And hi, right back at your cool self. Thank you for joining
Love it.
us.
Well, we got a lot of new cool friends coming in tonight.
Yeah.
Continue, Mark. Sorry.
I shall continue. Yep. Nope. I'm just changing the. Yeah, we just got.
Oh, you still working on that?
Well, no, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, here. Let me just change it here. I'm going to change it to.
Well, this has not only David Tomlin, it has Alexis Canner, who's in a couple of great Prisoner episodes, of course, like Living in Harmony, The Girl Who Was Death, and of course the classic Fallout episode. And let's see, there was Colin Gordon in two of my favorite episodes of The Prisoner. He was in A, B, and C, and The General. Actually, order would be The General and A, B, and C. Excuse me. And a great actor. He was number 2, of course. So yeah, I mean, and then a few other people. Not only that, we've got the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Rambo 3. He's one of the Interceptor pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Lois Maxwell, Moneypenny from the James Bond films. And we got Virginia Lake character, the gorgeous one of this beautiful smoking hot lady you see here on the right.
Yeah,
man,
way more
Here we go.
than just smoking hot. I mean, I personally believe that she may be one of the most beautiful women to ever appear on television. Her name is Wanda Ventham, and she is she's Blinky's mom.
I knew you could resist.
She's Blinky's mom.
Oh boy!
And
I don't like her voice though. I have to say, I don't like her voice though.
Well, that's okay because you could just be mesmerized by her face and her sexiness. I mean, she's hot.
Yeah.
And gave birth to Blinky. And now you guys have him in your shows, in your movies.
Other than like an very early on episode, like we haven't seen her, right? So
no, we haven't.
Isn't that kind of strange? There was one, but a good old Alec who we miss already.
Yeah.
She replaced him.
Talking to him. He was talking to her in an episode, and now we haven't seen her. And now we'll see her in the feud now. But
what is she again? She's 7, right? I think she's 7. I think Virginia Lake appears in 7 episodes. Or am I wrong?
Not that many. I can look it up, but not that many. Yeah,
it's not that many. I think it's 7, but I could be wrong, folks.
Well, I shall post the website, and it'll tell you how many episodes she's been in. Yeah, so Clobberin Times did a great job. He doesn't even need the book like I do to say who appeared in what. But Colin Gordon appeared in Casino Royale and the Pink Panther.
Oh yeah, true.
Clobberin Times actually isn't real. Mike Alonso is just his pen name. He is actually Sargon. So he is a giant brain that we have just put into this hulking sphere. And we are going to be broadcasting him from the sphere in Las Vegas shortly.
No. I like Sargon. He's a good YouTuber. Somebody just bought the book. I bet they were from here, says Fiona. Maybe so. Well, I wish them well.
Yeah, good luck.
We are resuscitating.
I hope it's one of ours.
Good culture, real culture, the good stuff.
You could be right, Fiona. And you know what? I hope it's one of ours that got it. That would be great.
Yeah. I hope so. Yep. Let's see. Windsor Davies was in an episode of Doctor Who, The Evil of the Daleks. He being a familiar face on British TV in the 70s for his role as Battery Sergeant Major Williams, and It Ain't Half Hot, Mom.
That's a Troughton episode of Doctor
Who. Okay. And he was in Terrahawks.
Terrahawks, okay. Wow.
Playbirds. Oh, here's the oops. I always love the oops here. There's not that many oops in UFO, but there's a few of them. So the footage of
there's oops for this episode.
Yeah, there's oops. Yeah, we don't always get an oops. So there's a bonus.
I know, but last episode didn't have an oops.
No, there were no oops. Yeah.
What oops? I missed the oops.
Let's see if we can guess it. Anyone can guess it in the chat.
Does anybody know what the oops is? Continuity Clobby. Do you know what the oops is?
They're not major oops, I think.
No. I don't know
either.
Say I do.
So here we go. The footage of 3 UFOs found in formation is lifted from the Dial Tech affair. The alien jamming device from the
Thanks,
episode
Underboy.
appears as a point of light in the middle of the picture as a second UFO passes. It doesn't seem quite right that Regan has the personal use of Foster's car, A4-215. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The silver girdle and because why would Foster try to get into that car? Yep. The silver girdle and pants parts of the alien spacesuits are missing from the ones worn by the aliens who kidnapped Regan and his wife. As the UFO leaves Earth and the interceptors attack, Captain Minto fires his missile, but his missile, seen through the cockpit window, stays where it is. Oh well, that's minor. Yep. Major
Okay.
equipment: Lunar Carrier 2, lunar module, rocket launcher vehicles, Shadow car A21. So a bunch of Shadow cars, a Shadow Jeep,
Yeah.
SID, Space Interceptors, UFOs, and Venus probe. But was that the first appearance of the rocket launcher vehicles
No.
in the series, or did we get them?
No.
When was the first? You guys remember when that?
I don't know because I'm mixed up because remember I'm in
The
Canada,
order.
so I'm a part of the British Commonwealth. So I watched the ITV order, and so now my brain's all scrambled because we've been doing production order.
But we've seen them. We've seen them before.
They've seen them before. I didn't recognize it, but it just shows you how bad my memory can be sometimes.
Fiona, that's probably quite I think you're quite probably correct.
Well, I'm going to
Probably
side
one
with
of
Larry
ours.
Larry here and just say Larry put in the chat that he would just like to congratulate whomever managed to secure that copy.
Yes.
Please enjoy it. I just want whomever bought that purchased that lovely
Wear
book
gloves
to know.
when you read it, please.
Yes, please wear gloves. Cherish it. Take very good care of it. I absolutely love UFO. I'm insane for it. I'm a lunatic for it. I believe that it is second only to Star Trek TOS. TOS and then UFO for me. This is such a beautiful, sexy science fiction show that ventures off into like this spy feeling where it's like you feel like you're watching a James Bond film, and the women are gorgeous, and there's like a chapter of Freemason women who are astrophysicists, and then you have all this beautiful practical effects and these gorgeous models, and then these amazing science fiction stories that are so cerebral, and they treat you like an adult, and it's just so enjoyable. The depth of storytelling, the visual effects, just the entire premise, every ingredient in this, it is a feast. It is the perfect meal for your science fiction brain. It is glorious. So celebrate that book. And like Larry said, congratulations.
Yeah,
Indeed.
enjoy it. Yep. There's a couple of nice books from Japan that are we've shown it before on the show, but the complete collection of photo art. There's also a technical guide, which people have been mentioning in the chat. But what I do is just put UFO in your Fleabase search, so you get an email every day, and that's a lot of times how I snag something. Where unless you really have to have it, you just keep waiting and waiting. And my also other tip for people buying things on eBay is always put it on your watch list. If it's something you don't have to have but you'd like to have. A lot of times, if it's something that's been on eBay for a long time, the seller will come back with an offer for you for a discount. So I did buy something I'm going to show tonight where I got I watched it, and it was a $7 item, and I got it for $4 or whatever. But I've also gotten some nice offers too with more expensive items. So that's another tip. Don't put a bid in right away if it's buy it now, long-term item. Just watch it, and maybe the person on eBay listing will come back with an offer to you. Or conversely, you can always wait a while and then just make an offer too, and see if it's like you're haggling at a tag sale, and maybe you'll get it for a little bit cheaper
at an expo, right?
Yeah.
Hey, can I just take a second here to thank you and Clobby for being my friends and being so wonderful to me. I remember when I first started podcasting, I would get so nervous because I was reading like an auctioneer, because I really thought that there would be no audience for someone like me, especially showcasing books and stuff. And
Oh.
I went through, like, I tried to read so fast I was tripping over myself because I thought, surely they're going to start throwing vegetables at me. The crowd's going to hate me. I'm this boring, ridiculous nerd. And every single show that I've done with you guys, I brought a book with me, and not only do you embrace it, but like you become a part of its storytelling. And it almost makes me emotional how great of friends you and Clobby are to me, Mark. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so much.
for indulging
Back at
me
ya.
in these books and getting everybody involved in these books and all these books and getting everybody reading. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
I might have to learn how to read one day just to see what all the fuss is about.
Be quiet. You're so well read. It's ridiculous.
Well, no, I'm kind of more like Orange. DJ Ronnie J, welcome, sir. DJ Ronnie G. Oh my goodness. So the episode.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about that a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Thank you for that, Raquel. It was so nice of you to say, though. Yeah.
Yes.
No,
of
I
course.
mean
Thank
it.
you.
I,
Well,
I
know
think
she
it's
does.
just crazy that you guys have done
know.
that for me, and now I'm so relaxed, and you guys are so engrossed in talking about these books and the contents of the books, and Clobby knows so
What we do.
much about the content in these books. I just you removed all of the shame, and I no longer feel silly, and I'm no longer making a fool out of myself trying to read 9 million miles an hour and all over the place, just so nervous and scared that everyone would hate to talk about boring stuff. And you guys are just my true friends, and I really love you. Thank you.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for those wonderful words. And Zathras, see you later. Hey, man.
Night,
Take care,
Zach.
Zathras.
Crap.
I expect to see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Saturday night saying, B5 is better than Voyager. Yeah, we'll get an
Night,
argument.
Zach.
Right? Good to see you, buddy. This episode, man, I tell you what, I really liked this episode a lot. I had maybe one bit of a qualm with the end, and we will be doing spoilers in a little bit, everybody.
Yep.
Of course.
Did you hear
With
that,
something-
Captain? The captain just announced that there will be spoilers. That's why he took a long pause after he said it, folks. These are spoilers. If you are going to watch The Cat with 10 Lives on UFO, we will be discussing spoilers. So the captain has warned you.
Yes.
But there'll be no spoilers for The Cat with 9 Lives that we were reviewing earlier.
That was fine. Yep. Well, we're going to go all 10 here. The whole 10 yards. Not the whole 9 yards. So anyway, where were we?
Well, Clobby,
was
I think you should start. Tell me what you thought of the episode.
What'd you say, Mark?
No, I said no. Yeah, let's hear what your take is. Yeah, I agree.
I loved it. I mean, I love this episode, not just because it had all these familiar names in it from the prison and all that kind of stuff. It did feel almost like a prisoner episode. I think one of the things I love about it was actually the performance of Alexis Canner, because if you watch, I guess this kind of, it's weird to say it, but because of how many times I've watched him in those playing just a nutso type of a character in those prisoner episodes, I'm expecting him to do that, to be like that in this episode. And he really does it. The only time he goes, even when he has to go after Paul Foster, he's being controlled by these aliens and stuff. This episode really moved the goalpost further in terms of what the aliens are. We still don't know what they are, but we now have almost completely this episode is a turning point again, almost like last episode was a little bit, about what are these aliens. We now have a new hypothesis about this, and that's all it is. As you know, this episode again changes the game a little bit. What are these things? And now we're starting to see those. There may not be aliens with actual physical bodies of their own. It's this episode is creepy.
Yep.
And yet not. It's just the subtlety. I guess it's just so good to see a show like this that is so subtle, that is so well done, that really. It just takes its time telling its story, like all these episodes of the show do. It's you're just not going to get any kind of entertainment like this anymore. You don't get this kind of writing anymore. This intelligent, quiet, sort of almost like a relaxed form of storytelling that just works for this format. I really like I like the character played by Alexis Canner, Jim Regan. It was such a terrifying scene when what happens with his wife.
Awful.
You know, so yeah, there was one. Well, there was one bit at the end that kind of had a little bit of a problem with. So do that now, or let you both start talking about.
Well, it's up to you.
Let me get your basic. Go ahead, number one. Give us
Okay.
your basic layout of this one.
Okay, so here are my notes, folks.
Go with the notes.
Nina Barry replaces Gail Ellis. This is a huge thing because, of course, Nina Barry is an original operative. So she has been working with Straker before there was a Shadow. So it's amazing, obviously, because this show was written and conceived in 1968 and obviously part of 1969, although this has been broadcast in 1970. And so here we have this same thing that is happening with Gene Roddenberry. And Nina Barry is fierce. I love the way that she gives orders. She is every bit as good as Gay Ellis, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Gail. Gay Ellis. She's fierce and sexy and amazing, and one of the most beautiful women to ever appear on TV. Now, her name is Dolores Mantez. Of course, I call her Lola. This woman is just so talented and so beautiful. Not only do we buy her as this expert astrophysicist, but we definitely buy her being the right hand of Straker. And as you all know, Gay Ellis is very important to Straker. Straker actually looked to Gay to help him make his decisions. And people in Shadow openly talked about the fact that they were of one mind. And so here we see how high the bar is set for the moon base folks, the women who are the astrophysicists working for Straker. So to have Nina Barry, this woman, person of color, POC, the term is the preferred term nowadays. But just this immensely beautiful, attractive, brilliant woman working for him. I just think it's delicious TV. I never get sick of Nina Barry. Who could? One of the most beautiful women on TV. And then, of course, I yelled out while I was taking my notes, because I always yell this out now because of Clobby, the guy from The Prisoner. As many of you know, I'm Canadian. I grew up, I had a very impecunious childhood. I grew up in poverty. I didn't have access to shows like The Prisoner. Clobby introduced The Prisoner to me. So, of course, I see Jim Regan and I see Alexis Kenner there. And I'm like, wow, there he is. And it never gets old because Alexis Kenner plays a very compelling, is he a bad guy? And be very careful with the wording there. Put the quotes around that because it's not Alexis Kenner, the bad guy. It's, is he the bad guy? And that is something that Alexis Kenner does delightfully. I just think that he's just so good. And then I wrote Blinky's mom, Colonel Virginia Lake, one of the most beautiful women to ever appear on television. Of course, I love the Colonel. She's awesome. Seal Point Siamese alert. As many of you know, I've always owned pedigreed show Siamese, although they have all passed away now. I love Siamese, so it's just beautiful to see that Seal Point prancing around. We have an awesome grappling scene. I love this grappling scene. Of course, it reminds me of TOS. And I love seeing these guys wrestle and I don't know. I find it very sexy. I think it's so cool. And once again,
like
it's got
watching men
that.
wrestle, so I couldn't let that
Yeah,
go.
right. No, you interrupt me whenever you want. I love you. Okay, so there is one bad part here. There's a no chemistry kiss scene between the Regans. Jim Regan goes in to kiss Jean, and it's kind of yucky. I don't like it. They don't have chemistry. And then I wrote in my notes, the aliens flex their mind control capabilities. And then I wrote something about the Ouija board. This was a wildly popular parlor game at the time, but I grew up very religious, so it's not something I've ever tried. So that I found it even more frightening, even though I'm an agnostic. I also thought that the creepy camera work was ingenious. I love how Jerry Anderson does these incredibly unusual perspective shots. So he'll change the perspective. So one minute you're in someone's goggles, let's say. The next minute you're in someone's periscope. The next minute you're looking out a car window, and here we have the camera playing the aliens. So the aliens are hovering above the table. The consciousness of one of these aliens is hovering above the table, and those Ouija cards were sent to that house in order to gain access to Jim Regan's mind. They didn't order them. This wasn't a parlor game they wanted. It's not a Ouija board. These were cards that arrived in the mail. And so we see the alien consciousness above the table as Jim Regan's body is taken over. I think this is just genius. I'm not
How
a
did
geek.
that work, though? How did that work? That's the one thing I was going to say was wrong with the episode. You knew the cards were sent by the aliens, but how did that? Was there a device in the Ouija board, or was there something technological that enabled that mind control? Or
I just think that they can travel in ways that perhaps we don't fully understand, or it's a proximity thing. Because remember, what do they call them again? What does Nina Berry call the alien ships again? Is it the Japanese word for evil, or is it the
kamikazes? Or no.
no, or the spinning motion? I forget what she calls them. But anyways, that's nearby. And so I think, that's what's housing the consciousness. It's in the lake nearby, right? We see a full abduction for the first time, and it's quite terrifying. In the car,
Yeah.
Jean is then gone, and she's pregnant. And so if you're a regular UFO watcher, you are now terrified. It is well known by the UFO watcher that these aliens use whole bodies to inhabit, or they take parts for the failing bodies that they're in. And so we don't know what's going to happen to Jean, but we are terrified for her unborn baby. It's very scary.
Hey, lemon pie, welcome.
Lemon pie. Dr. Jackson is delightfully diabolical. He will always be the ultimate villain doctor. I love the fact that his name is absurdly Dr. Jackson because these Andersons wanted to, push this even more, that he is very secretive, and obviously he's not a Jackson. His past.
Yeah.
And we know this through his heavy accent. So I love the cerebral nature of that inside joke with the UFO people. We're never going to see Dr. Jackson being diabolical. We have to imagine it. We know it because he plays a villain. We know his name is not Dr. Jackson. We know that he works very high up in shadow. He's above everyone. He's above all of the colonels, and we know this. And here he is, this psychiatrist, and he steps in to oversee things from time to time. But we never get to see him be diabolical, though we know he is. And because of that, that he is so incredibly talented. I think his name is Vladek Shebal. He just so talented, and I absolutely adore him. And he just raises the bar on the cerebral nature of his character and the show. So I just love it. We find out in this episode that whole bodies can be made alien through forced lobotomies. So now not only are they using us for spare parts, but now we know that a lobotomy is actually performed on the person so that these Sargon-like entities can inhabit their bodies. And then, of course, Dr. Jackson tells us that it is possible that he strongly believes that the aliens have no bodies at all, or some of them do, but that corporeal thing is not necessary to their survival. But in order to travel great distances, Dr. Jackson explains, they need a container. Otherwise, apparently, from what Dr. Jackson says in the episode, they lose their minds. So they go insane. Now, he doesn't say whether or not they go insane and they are retarded through this process. It's more sort of like what they're trying to say is that it's almost like he's implying that they become violent, or like, I don't know. It's very creepy. Go back and revisit that dialogue because it's very cool. We
I'll
find
have
out
it queued up to go through after
Yeah.
you're done. Yep.
So it's very cool because what he ends up saying is they are like living computers. And this is incredible because, of course, this is total sci-fi. This is not science fantasy. This is science fiction. This is futurism because, of course, everyone knows that through transhumanism, we're hoping to send that information through light. So we don't have, because we can't break the speed of light. Or yeah, anyways, there's one guy who thinks we can break the speed of light. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to learn about that, just talk to Fiona. And then what I think is incredibly cool, that's something that Gene Roddenberry did, that I also explore in my writing, is this idea of inhabiting lower life forms. So you arrive and you sort of have to figure out what type of life form you're going to inhabit. And so here, one of them is inside of this Siamese cat. It's quite incredible and quite scary. Regan's pregnant wife must be shot down, but the aliens control Regan and prevent him from doing that. We have a creepy, scary alien Regan having unspoken conversations, and just the look on Kenner's face. This guy is such a high quality actor. This is not television acting. This is film acting. It's beautiful. And then it's so funny. I wrote right underneath that, this episode always feels like a film. You feel like you're watching a film. It's super intense. It's very taut. It has a clear beginning, middle, and end, but it does feel like a film. It's so satisfying. It feels like a film. And I love the death pose that Kenner takes inside of the interceptor when he knows that, his number's up. And he's not going to crash into Moonbase, but the moon's surface itself. I love that it's Pharaoh-like, and it's very clear to me that something is happening here with the Andersons. The Andersons are trying to imply, and I love this seeding idea. So it would appear that these aliens have not only been coming to Earth for so long to steal our bodies, that they need new organs to replenish the bodies they've taken, and that they can also inhabit other life forms, and that they may have arrived on light instead of just in their physical machines, and that they perform lobotomies on whole human beings. So we're wondering here the Andersons are trying to create doubt in the intelligent person's mind of how long this has been going on with that Pharaoh pose. And that is quite an intriguing idea, as many folks of science fiction who love science fiction fans will know. That idea of alien seeding of life on Earth is quite intriguing. And then I just wrote at the very end, poor Regan. Kenner puts this look on his face at the very end where he realizes that he can't kill anybody on Moonbase, and that he must die, and he's himself again. And so it's actually incredibly sad. And this guy is so good at making facial expressions. He reminds me of Jack Nicholson. Like, how like Jack Nicholson, love him or hate him, you see him on film. He doesn't even have to talk. He could tell a whole story with micro expressions, not full comedic expressions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about beyond countenance, the micro expressions, the whole visage, the whole tone of the face changes. Kenner does that here, and it almost makes you want to cry when you realize that he's been a marionette of this being, and he has no choice. And that's all I have in my notes.
Excellent. Well, great notes. They excellent. See, they set it up they set his character up very well early on to make you feel it. And the best stories do it, make you feel it when he, when what happens to him, his ultimate fate, he's going to die there. And Canner did a brilliant job with the performance all the way around. And that's why by the end, you really feel it when he sacrifices himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, so I really love this episode as well. Thought the acting was superb. As we said, the only thing that kind of threw me was like, why is the Ouija game? I mean, it was obviously delivered by the aliens, not because the guy didn't want to go through the Friends Boring Butterfly videos. He had the signal with his wife, so there was some good writing there in terms of telling, made them a believable couple, like, develop a headache so you don't have to watch 2 hours of his personal videos. But then they were intrigued by this Ouija game. And, of course, I was joking before, but yeah, we were in Catholic school. They told us never, ever to play Ouija. And it was very, very popular in the 70s, but everyone was doing it. Yeah. Very, very popular. So I think maybe there was something in the Ouija board or something in one of the pieces or something to help link him to the aliens, because then he's clearly literally possessed at that point by the aliens. So see, he should have listened to the nuns in my Catholic school and not played Ouija. He would have been okay.
I don't think the Ouija board was necessary. I think it was just I think that these aliens are slightly psychotic. Remember when they possessed the other body and said, "We're not here to harm you." And you remember Clobby and I talking about...
why would they give him a Ouija board, though?
Because I think they're slightly sick in the head. I do.
Oh, okay.
Especially like the last person they possessed, they said, "We mean you no harm." So they I think it's the Andersons trying to show that they think of us like ants. And you're going to have some of these aliens that are going to be one of those rotten kids with the magnifying glass sitting on their step, burning ants with their magnifying glass through the power of the sun. And then you're going to have others that collect ants and put them in a pickle jar and feed them sweet treats from the store. I just think that we're meant to feel quite small here. And the Ouija game does reveal where the entity is when it's summoned into the room. It's in the lake, right next to their house, which is why they spell out sea green. She says,
and then seance, yeah,
and it's just crazy. But
Sister Mary Jane was right. Never play Ouija. That's the moral of my story. Exactly. All right, so don't mess around with the Ouija board, because either way it didn't work.
Just don't.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
No, I went to Christian school my whole life. I know exactly what you're talking about, Mark. I've never touched a Ouija board or a Ouija game in my life. I never will. But I think that this was obvious that there was a little bit of that sort of we are mere ants, and that some of these aliens will step on you or cook you underneath a magnifying glass if you're one of those weirdo kids, one of those weirdo aliens, or they're going to put you in a pickle jar and perform experiments on you. I think it's meant to show how small we are, especially because in previous episodes we were told, "We come in peace. We will not harm you. Just let us take over your planet." And it's
Dead man. Dead man and the Dead Man Clan. Hello there, buddy.
And Larry, I love your mind too. You are such a good friend. Thank you for saying that to me.
But so I thought the performance by Alexis Canner, as you've said, was top notch, and he, and Straker too, of course, sends him back into the fold, and the guy's got Virginia Lake is like, well, wait, how could you do that? Like, we need every astronaut, and it's just that was a very Kirk decision. You're going by the book, not by emotion. So today you would have 20 minutes of talking in hallways about maybe he needs to go see the counselor. I'm not minimizing grief for that, but you're in a military organization, and sometimes you've just got to gotta, they needed his expertise. So,
Well, and the
really
unspoken thing here too is that he should have the enough military training and enough shadow training, because he is specialized shadow, that Straker might have been giving him an opportunity to avenge her death, to get out there and to defend, and instead of sitting at home wondering what to do with himself or falling to pieces. Straker wanted to give him an outlet, a way to lash out against and passionately lash out against the aliens. I think it was a smart call.
Yeah, and he says he wanted to destroy the spacecraft, the UFO, with his wife on it. He said he didn't want that horrible fate to become her, but he couldn't. Then the alien had taken him over as using the cat. I guess the cat was able to transmit. Think of that, the power of the alien too. The cat is on Earth, going up to the interceptor pilot. So there was something clearly that they had latched onto him or did something to them, like you said, to enable that taking over his mind, because otherwise, the aliens could just take over everyone's mind right at one time.
But
So
it requires a trance
happened.
state, right? Like
Yeah, so
we've been
something
shown by
happened
the
there.
Andersons that being taken over requires a trance state. You have to visibly be in a trance state, and it's almost like the lights of Zatar. So
yeah. But very, very the aliens very, very powerful. Yeah.
So it's not like it could happen to him at work, and it's not like it could happen to him in front of his wife. If he went catatonic, she'd call an ambulance. But if they're
catatonic,
pardon?
Catatonic.
Oh God, Clobby, I didn't even realize that I love you.
Sorry.
That was a good one.
Sorry.
But if he became like if he had almost like a seizure like state as he was being taken over by the lights of Zatar, which is basically how these aliens without bodies attack your mind.
Right.
It couldn't happen at Shadow because someone would report it, and it couldn't happen in front of his wife because she'd call an ambulance. But if they send Ouija cards and they're screwing around, everyone is liable to think that he's just joking. He's just screwing around. He's just being a jerk off. Mm-hmm. And so it facilitates that kind of storytelling, because everything the Andersons have told us prior to this, it is an attack of the lights of Zatar minus the rah, 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 rah.
Well, the other part that was really good too, I thought, was the the end where he dies a hero too, where he knows that what's the astronaut's name? I just forgot. It's
Regan.
Regan. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
So he at
Regan.
the last second he realizes what's happened, and he of course the natural reaction I guess is to pull up, but in doing so he's able to save the moon base, because moon base was it would have been a major disaster if they'd crashed in with the it was a kamikaze attack into that moon base with a missile there going off. So he dies, as a hero too, because he's able to, and Straker with the brilliance, that was an offhanded remark. What's happening with business in the studio, and Lois Maxwell's like, not much. There's a dog food commercial on stage 4, and it's just an offhanded line, but that's great that they the writers, that's good writing. So you just had that
foreshadowing. This is what happens
yeah.
when people look at their audience and go, okay, these are going to be some smart people. Look at the demographic and the psychographic of sci-fi people, engineers, lawyers, academics.
One question though I would have would be, you have a bunch of dogs. That was a lot of dogs. That was a lot. Damn dogs. And there's one cat. I know cats generally chase. Dogs generally chase cats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are no humans telling them, "Hey, go get that cat." They just. He says, "We got the dogs. Let the dog. We'll just let them run." And they
let the dogs out.
Who let 5 million dogs are chasing this cat all of a sudden, and I understand the cat is an alien, but the cat's also running from him, rightly so. But why were all of them so intent on getting that cat? With that many dogs, after a while, they're chasing a cat. With all of them, hey, Parker, good to see you.
Hey, Parker.
It just seemed like a scene where where it was kind of unorchestrated. It was like, let them run out, and we'll take a chance that the dogs running around will chase it. That I mean,
Well,
we
I thought that
relentlessly
those are
chase
fox
the cat.
dogs.
They relentlessly chase that cat out there.
Yeah.
They're not trained better than that to not chase a cat that far. I mean, in other words, I think the scene was like a little overwrought in the sense, just like, man, these dogs are on a, I mean, they're on a big time rampage. Like they're after something. The one little kitty cat. I'm not sure that many dogs would bother with one cat.
Well, I thought that those were fox hunt dogs, which is like a tradition in the UK.
Were they?
I believe that they are given a scent and they go after the scent, and they don't stop until they reach the scent.
Yeah, but they were never given the scent though. As
they never show anything like that.
They didn't show.
Yeah, that is
maybe they needed
that. Is kind of a slip up. Yeah, they needed. That was just a great line, and you kind of just, unless if you're not really paying a lot of attention, it kind of sneaks by. But that's a great point. I think that is a hole in the episode, I guess, because think of how big the studio is. Where's this cat? It's not like it's in a confined area. These dogs are running. How do you even know they're going to go the right direction? And are you going to even get your dogs back in the end? I mean, what about the owners of the dogs or the company?
I don't think fox hunt beagles work that way, but I'm not a hunter, but I just know that like those beagles, they're trained to catch a scent. But I do agree with Clobby. I do think that it would help non-British people. I guess I'm Canadian. I watch a lot of British stuff, so especially period stuff. But it probably would have been good if maybe one of the shadow agents who was holding the cat or touching the cat, because the cat was up on everyone's laps, if they shared the scent and then sent the dogs out. And that's a lacuna.
Picasso. Hey, Picasso.
Hey, welcome. Picasso. That's a lacuna. Hey, it's information that's missing from the storytelling, and some folks need that missing piece. Right. I think it's a valid point.
I think there'd have been some more coordinated scenes saying, hey, look, I mean, they don't really tell you how the dogs got set onto the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They just said, hey, the dogs, let them go get the cat. I mean, there could be hundreds. It's like the only cat within hundreds of miles. And the dogs just happened to be in there with the dog commercial.
They should have shown the one shadow agent that had him had the cat on her lap, saying, "Here's the scent," and then go.
Yeah,
I think it's also because I also think it's because it's although this show was meant for an American audience, it's coming from like British people who just assume that you understand the rules of fox hunt and how beagles work and things like that. But
no problem. No, I still love the episode. Shall we?
Yeah, me too.
And then one I think Raquel probably really enjoyed that fight scene because her favorite guy Paul Foster got the crud beaten out of him.
He did.
By Catman, right? Yes, by Catman.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was the fight scene was actually really good. Now karate is, and kung fu movies
little stuntman fight scene.
Yeah, they were hitting they're getting really, really popular, around that time. So that was really, really well done. And of course, the other last thing was that I thought was the heart of the episode was the conversation with the doctor, and yes. And that it reveals everything. So, and I love the line, "Cut the caution." I'll just quote a few lines there. "We're not likely to quote you." Like I think that was Straker. "All right, I'm sorry. Yeah. As you're aware, up to now we believe they're a humanoid, a dying race keeping themselves alive by transplanting our organs into their bodies. The alien I examined this morning, I think the whole body was human. His brain, even his brain. You mean he was one of us? Outwardly, yes. But if his brain may have been human, but doesn't mean his mind was. Mind, brain, they're the same." That's Foster. Yeah. Foster. No. Let me explain. Yeah. There was so much damage, it was almost impossible to tell, but certain sections of the brain seemed to be missing. The parts that control emotion, creativity. Only the analytical, the logical remained.
Hey. Yeah.
Sorry, but Chris Persia's running. Chris Persia, have a great night.
Good night, honey.
Buddy.
Mwah, mwah.
Take care, Chris.
Thank you for being
Thanks
here,
for
buddy.
Graphics.
Absolutely,
Westward
man.
Smile.
Thank you. Westward Smile, welcome.
And Picasso, we love you too.
Good to
Gosh
see you.
darn it.
Yes, Picasso. I'm so glad to see you here. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, yep. Only the analytical, the logical remained. The good parts of Spock. It's possible that these creatures are not humanoid at all. They just use our bodies, erase from the brain all knowledge, wipe it clean, and reprogram it with or transmit it transmit to it their own thought patterns, their own intelligence. But why? That I don't know. But it could be they aren't capable of traveling in space. The form of life they take, I can't begin to imagine. They may have no physical being at all, and therefore need a vehicle, a container, our bodies. And so, with spare parts surgery, they're able to keep these human computers alive and free from senility during their years in space. Exactly.
Senility. That's the word they use. Thank you, Mark.
Senility. Yep. Exactly. Well, that's unbelievable. So were you UFOs? Yes, as fantastic as it sounds, they could be living computers. So, and you'd mentioned that line, obviously, Raquel, with the living computers and AI, and today, like if you're in Google Docs, we've launched our new AI mode. You can check it out, and you can say, write this for me, and it's cool and creepy too, in a way. And we've always, the Terminator 2 type movies where robots take over, but maybe it'll never happen. But as countries are researching and looking to replace soldiers with robots, it's damn scary. And it is. The UFO is kind of not exactly foreshadowing that, but saying that this is some kind of intelligence where they're taking over your bodies, and it's it's a living computer. So it's what form of life? And many theorists think that if we get contacted by another form of life, it's going to be an AI, because they speculate that the AI that whatever civilization created them will eventually take out, or people will merge with the machine, which is a very obviously Star Trek concept too, seen many times in Star Trek. So it's a fascinating line, and it's a great, really great writing. I love that whole section of the episode there.
Yep. I just found it very interesting, because you think to yourself, how far can they travel, and what does he mean by senility? Because it's very obvious in the conversation that he's trying to say that what would happen to them? Would they go mad? I find the diction interesting, because they're very much leading us up to this idea that such a distance would cause madness. And this was also something that was discussed about space travel quite heavily at the time. Extended space travel would cause some type of retardation, some type of madness, some form of violence. So I found,
well, that's the first Twilight Zone episode, right, where the astronaut is locked in the box, and he thinks he's on the journey to space, and he loses his mind, right?
Yeah. So what? But senility is interesting, because it's as though they're trying to imply that the distance was so great that the alien would be aged. So it's not just madness that the viewer is meant to consider. It's not just some form of violence or retardation due to this isolation. It's also this idea that the alien is so aged because of the amount of time to travel in space. And so it's a loving tribute to science fiction, keeping it science, and I love it. I just love it. And I love that you brought up the fight scene, because of course you obviously, you and Clubby already know that it reminds me of Charlie X. I love that grappling scene. I think it's great. I love that you pointed out that Foster is a nincompoop and has to have Dr. Jackson explain things to him. So I absolutely love your review, Mark. Totally cool. Love it.
I don't remember him saying that.
Raquel added that, but yeah, that was Foster who said the mind and the brain are the same. Yeah.
The mind and the brain are the same. No, but you did point out that he's a nincompoop, because he said the mind and the brain are the same. And Dr. Jackson was like, "Shut up, nincompoop." Anyway.
He shin kicked him right there. Right in the episode.
Kicked him.
Thank you, Larry, for the super chat. He says, I nominate Fiona to be our resident science officer. Well, to quote Kirk from the Corbomite maneuver, I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Bailey, when this becomes a democracy.
Yep.
But in seriousness, I'll definitely consider her for the position. If she's interested, she may not want to sign on to our starship. She may be getting other offers from other starships. She is a very well-known and accomplished science officer in Starfleet. So I don't know. Would have to check into it and have a interview her.
Westward Smile. I mean that in the scientific meaning of the word, the dictionary's scientific meaning of the word. I don't mean it as a pejorative, and I wouldn't use it in the sense of a pejorative ever. So just to clarify, I mean it in the scientific sense. Well, what we're talking about is an entity sending its consciousness over hundreds and hundreds of light years. And so one is meant to contemplate in this episode whether or not the entity would be emotionally undone, physically undone, or so old, so aged as to be torn apart by the entire endeavor. We're talking about intelligence traveling over hundreds of thousands of light years. So it's meant entirely in the scientific sense, in the dictionary sense, and not in the pejorative sense whatsoever.
Of course, absolutely. And everyone is spelling nincompoop in the chat.
I can't spell. I get the
I'm glad
AI
they're the
to
ones
spell
doing
for
it.
me, maybe.
Oh dear, I love saying.
So if you can't spell nincompoop, are you a nincompoop?
No.
I am.
We need Dr. Smith from
Silence you,
Lost in
ninny.
Space.
Silence you, ninny. You bubble-headed booby. I love they were showing Lois Maxwell. Can you go back to her enough? Yeah. I mean, no time to the Straker go flirt with her. She's probably missing. I'm actually missing working for Section 9. I'm going, you mean MI5, right?
I was waiting for Straker to throw his hat, if he was wearing a hat, onto the coat rack.
He says, hello, Moneypenny. Oops, I'm sorry. Your name's not Moneypenny around here. She has a different name. Sorry about that. She says, no flirting with me. You're not an MI5 agent or anything. So anyway, number one, what would be your rating of the episode? The Cat with 10 Lives.
Well, everyone here knows that I'm absolutely insane. I'm a total lunatic for UFO. I believe it's among the greatest things ever put on television. There's just no other way to articulate it how fine it is, how beautiful it is. It's majestic. I'm saying that with a smile on my face, and I sort of want to say biatches afterwards, but I'm not going to.
You just did.
Although I just did. I know. I'm going to go ahead because this is so cerebral, because it is so engrossing, because there is such a density here in the writing and the trip that it's taking you on emotionally and intellectually. This is just, this is some of the best of UFO, and all of UFO is the best. This is an A plus for me. So 3 little pluses beside the A. It's glorious. It's majestic. It's
like an AP class here. You get a whole extra grade instead of it's a 4.0, it's a 5.0, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Plus,
God.
this had
Mega
Foster
Cropper
being
put up
called an A.
What?
Yep. I was gonna say he had Foster getting his butt kicked and being called an nincompoop. So that's at least one extra plus, right, for you.
Well, this is just it. I mean, this is how a girl can't ask for much more, can she,
Minimus
Clobby?
is here, brother. No, I know you love that part. I was happy for you. There's Minimus. I know I was happy for you when you got to see that. I know you were happy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
Mega Cropper, I am so thrilled and flattered that you would put up a grade for this episode. You are the best, baby.
Mega Cropper gives it an A. Okay, what about you, Mark? Anybody else?
I give it an A plus because I like Foster, so I took a plus off of it from him getting his butt kicked and making a stupid statement by like not knowing that mind and brain are different. But no, I'm joking. But this is really just such a well done episode. You could rewatch this a few times.
I have,
and there's a lot to it, and maybe there's not the chemistry between as much a husband and wife, but you did feel his torment, especially knowing her fate. And my final word is never ever play Ouija.
Anybody? So what did you give it? An A plus?
A plus. Yeah.
Anybody who wants to give a rating, please do. There's Minimus, by the way. Did you say Minimus? Okay. All right. So Minimus will know where this is from. First of all, I love the episode as well. I give it an A plus plus. Alexis Cantor gets that extra plus from me. He is one of my favorite episodes of The Prisoner, and he's the funniest part about it, the fallout. And so, as a tribute to him, I almost want to sing. I'm not going to do it, but it's the song he sings in the episode. That bones dim, dry bones dim, bones dim, dry. Oh, hear the word of the Lord. Oh, hear the word of the Lord. Thanks for the trip, Dad. I mean, I know no one can quote the episode like I can. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But when he says,
just recite it from scratch. Yeah.
When he says, "The bones is yours, Dad. They came from you, my daddy. I'm your baby dad. You owe your baby dad something, don't you? The bones is yours." I'm sorry. Now I want to go back and watch Fallout, and Minimus will know what I'm talking about because anyway.
If Clobbering Times ends the show early, you know why.
Yes,
Mark. I just want to say. Before we move on, I just want to say, too, because I want to ask Clobby a question. Do you think, and I'm not being an apologist here for Cantor, but I just think that it's really important. Socio-historical context is incredibly important when you're reviewing a television show or you're reading a book, okay? Like, it's very important. Do you think, Mark, and I want to get Clobby's geekiness on this, that this is due to the fact that this is taking place in 1968, 1969, 1970. Was Cantor's kiss awkward due to the fact that it wasn't expected for these interludes, these sexual things to have emphasis? Was he sort of reserved because he's quite a passionate and talented actor?
Yeah,
is this due to the socio-historical context of don't get too touchy or too gropey or this won't go on air?
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, the back then, I mean, you could have a passionate kiss on TV, but it is early on, so don't forget the Brady Bunch. I think were they the first married couple to be shown in bed together? I mean, Lucille Ball in the 50s, they had to say she was with child. They couldn't even say that she was pregnant on TV. So some of it could be, but I think by then things have been loosening up. Remember that party they had, the wild party with Foster, and everyone was dancing and drinking. So maybe the other thing I thought was maybe since he's been taken over by the alien, or the aliens, or is the alien affected him at that point?
No,
maybe that was later.
No, it's just a bad kiss.
Don't worry, Fiona. We're going to get to yours in a second.
Maybe it was just a bad kiss, or maybe the guy. Some actors they don't want to.
I didn't even think about it till you mentioned it. So
some actors they don't even want to kiss other actors or actresses, because they have that in their contract. Because they, not that they consider it cheating, but they just in respect to their spouse. I know there's several actors that don't
That's
do that. So
to bring up.
I don't know. I'm gonna go watch the kiss again and see.
Well, it's definitely not like mother bird feeding baby bird like Kuroto, but there was no chemistry there. And did everyone notice that a Polynesian minion and the pepperoni are here?
Are they? No, I didn't. I don't have the picture of the pepperoni anymore, or otherwise I'd put it up there. Wish I still had that picture.
Oh, I can get it.
It's on my old computer. But I can't keep it loaded that long.
Because you don't have enough spots. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can send it to the tweet twats or something, I'll get it some other kind of way.
Matthew Pounder, I totally agree.
I didn't see Apollo. Is she here? Well, hello, Apollo. Hope you in the and who else? Well, okay. Well, we've got some things to read here before we listen, because Fiona has something to say about the episode. Apparently,
good.
To me, this is one of the finest horror episodes of TV ever.
Yeah,
I can't put my finger on it, but I've never liked horror films, me either.
Oh, me.
But I love Poltergeist and The Thing and Alien. Yeah, I like those. I like horror films that have like Poltergeist is truly just an entertaining movie either way. I don't like gratuitous slasher trash movies, but a supernatural one occasionally like Poltergeist, and of course, obviously John Carpenter's The Thing, or even the original one by Howard Hawks, Alien. Those I do love. I almost don't consider them necessarily to be horror films, so they do fall into that genre. So I'm right there with you, Fiona. She says, I think it's the horror movies that don't make any logical sense. This was extraordinarily well written, and the acting was damn near Shakespearean in the subtext. Oh my God. I mean, absolutely. Is it the actors that aren't good enough for the writers that are too stupid that we don't get good subtext anymore? This episode has everything: suspense, action, horror, humor. Let's see here. And it did create a new level of terror by expanding the ability of the aliens to take over humanity. This was a triple threat episode: character, world building, and story. Let's see here. Wasn't a kiss supposed to be bad? I don't know. Wasn't it signifying something about their relationship? I guess. I took it to me, and that the marriage was having problems. Anyway, that episode was great. I don't know. Nothing that even occurred to me one way or the other. So I can't comment.
I'm watching it right now. I think it's kind of spicy. I mean, she's
spicy.
I always wondered how. Hang on a second.
Go. Keep going. Yeah.
I always wondered how steeplechase hounds knew which sin to go chase. Yeah, you got to figure that pickup dozens from a signal whiff. Anywho, A++. Thank you.
Take a bow, lady.
Fiona.
Stand up and take a bow, Fiona. Drop the mic, baby. What a great review. Thank you so much.
Well done, yeah. Indeed, had to answer a phone. On the phone, the Flintstones was the first TV show to have the husband and wife in the same bed and without the bonnuit.
Bonui.
The bonui.
It's good night in bonui. Good night in French.
Let me knock out the rest of these real quick, and we'll move on. Our buddy Michael Beacom says he said earlier, I love UFO, but cannot look at it again now without hearing my son laughing loudly. He saw 1980 flashed on the screen as he walked by and lost it. The far-flung future of 1980.
I remember when that happened. That was funny.
Yeah.
Poor
Parker asked the question, hey, Clobby and gang, have you guys reviewed Quinn Martin's production science fiction series, The Invaders? Not yet. I've seen it long ago, and it's up for consideration one day. I used to have Starvlog Volume 2 of Starlog Press to see sci-fi series. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, it was a great show. No question about it. And he said, what is your favorite episode of the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk television series? If you don't mind, I don't mind you asking at all. I can't say I have a favorite one because I like the show, but if I had a favorite one, I think I like that one. I don't know. There was one that was kind of cool where he was caught halfway in his transformation and he had his head. No, I know the one. I know the one where he had his face covered up and pretending because he had to go out in the woods with Jack McGee, the guy who was chasing him. And the guy didn't know it was him the whole time. Jack McGee didn't know it was David Banner the whole time. That was a pretty interesting one. Yeah, there was one where he got brought to an island that was a rip off the old movie, The Most Dangerous Game. They had one when he was transformation, where he was caught in the middle of his Hulk transformation. Most of them were just soap operas, little like social worker stories. But anyway, hope that answers your questions there, Parker.
I watched every episode of that.
Oh, you did?
Great show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a cool
I've
show.
never watched it. I've never rewatched it. I've never had an opportunity to rewatch it. But I don't remember a single episode. All I know is that I absolutely love that show. I watched it every time it was on television.
That was a long time ago, though. So, of course, yeah.
Yeah. What about when the Hulk was on and Daredevil and Thor? I mean, Thor and Daredevil.
Movies.
Yeah,
by the way, I'm going to go get meds if you guys can spell.
Yeah, you go ahead, baby. We got your back. Don't worry.
Well, I just want to say, I'm watching that kiss scene again.
Yeah.
I mean, she comes to the door waiting for her husband who's been on the moon, and he's joking like he's asleep.
Where have you been all night? On the moon.
Yeah, and then they give it's not a bad kiss there for 1970 TV. And then she's wearing like a negligee outfit, and then he kisses her again pretty passionately. And
no, the second kiss is better than the first kiss. The first kiss is like, oh, I think we should have had another take on that.
But she's like, you look exhausted. Yeah, well, probably the actor probably. Let's do another take. Yeah, you're the nicest excuse for an early night that I can think of. That's a pretty romantical line, right?
Yeah,
that's a pretty good line. And then towards the end of the scene, he taps her, touches on her belly and says, "How are you?" So it's I wonder if you could say pregnant back then, but that's the
Pregos.
influence prego. But you wonder, if you're allowed to
My
say it
darling,
back
you
then.
are with child.
And the guy's
How
like,
is
I was
our
a man, yeah.
unborn offspring?
Yeah, you'll feel better after a shower. He's like, how are you? And he's rubbing her belly. Yeah, I know. I think it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good scene. It's not a bad scene, I think, but not. Yeah, maybe not. What you'd expect
No.
today, but I don't know. I
Still
think
better
it's
than Kuroto because
yeah.
that's a show
Oh
that's
God.
modern where they're like crawling all over one another. She's skulking around like a cat in heat.
Yeah,
So you
and
expect
there's no
more from the
chemistry
modern
between
stuff.
those characters. Yeah,
Anyway,
and then the wife is gorgeous in this too. I guess.
yeah, she's totally cute.
She's cute. Yeah. So.
I
Yeah, and then
mean,
the joke.
not
The
Nina
joke is.
Barry cute, not
Yeah, but
Virginia Lake cute, but cute.
is it? Don't forget if they bring out those home movies, develop a headache, and she says, so there was some good chemistry there. Yes, I
Cute
know, but
that
the
they
film.
have a
Oh wait, this
signal
is
for when people are being obnoxious. I just
yeah.
want to ask anyone in the chat: do you have a signal to your spouse or significant other, or perhaps even like a family member who you just get along well with, where you're very clearly saying, "Let's get the heck out of Dodge"? Does anybody have a signal? Anyway, please continue,
Those are
Mark.
yeah. He said yes, but the films her cousin makes. Take the last one, The Courting of Habits of the British Earthworm. That fellow's kinky. Oh, Jim, you're a fool. Yeah. So there was, that's where you have the double entendre in there,
Yeah.
the silly stuff. So,
Yeah, it's good
but that's
stuff.
what sets UFO apart with this great writing. Like we were saying before, the direction, and when you get possessed too, then the camera shot looking down at the feet of just the people
Yeah.
during that camera shot, or you're seeing the the aliens' perspective, just their feet. It made that even scarier, even more, more creepy.
The hovering over the table freaked me out. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that thing's coming. It's out of the ship and it's coming inside of the house through the roof. Sick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the alien is carrying, the alien's carrying the husband too, right? The astronaut. And I guess just what was the then why did they just why did they just leave him there the whole time? I was kind of confused by that too. Because and they just leave him at the car, so they're carrying him up onto the spacecraft. You see that foot, where they're going to your feet, or maybe they implanted something else there, or did something additional to his mind by taking him to the spaceship. I guess, and he's on the
Or
spaceship.
maybe they never touched him at all. They knew he was going to be an instrument for them, but they just wanted her unborn child. For me, that's the big thing, because he points to her belly and they wanted more than Jean there. They wanted Jean's baby. It's very sad and very scary, like Fiona said. Fiona thought it was scary, and I thought it was scary as well because of what it implies. Violence is not required. All of the violence transpires in the mind, and it doesn't need to be played out on the screen. You already know what's going to happen to the baby and Jean, and that's what makes it so scary. And
Mr. Angel's here. Hey.
Oh,
hey, Chef. Hey, sweetheart.
Chefy.
Yeah. And of course, it could have been revenge against the UFO pilot too, right? I mean, they know who he is, right? So maybe they said, let's imagine if they could go after.
I don't know about revenge, but yeah,
or just or not revenge, or just going after the family of your combatants is horrible and also psychological too in a lot of ways. So, but yeah, top notch episode, top notch.
HB says he did have a signal with his ex. His ex used to say, "My eyes went cold in her world, and her word determined," and the voice went flat.
Yeah. Yepper.
Did you ever have a signal word, Clobby, that you were just done and you needed to leave?
I don't know.
I've never tried that.
I haven't been married in about 30-something years, so I don't know. It's been that long.
I never needed one, thankfully.
Well, Mark, I see what you wrote to the chat. But are we not reviewing a comic tonight?
Oh, do we still go? No, I didn't know if you guys.
Did you read
Since
it?
I got in late, I didn't know if you'd already covered the comic. So
No.
No, and I
Did
didn't
you
get
read
a
it?
chance to read the comic.
Oh,
I
well,
don't
then
know
we
if-
won't cover it then.
Yeah,
Well,
did
maybe
you
I
guys
could
see
just
the
show it
next
screenshots?
week. Huh?
so I can just show the. Maybe I'll just show the comic I got from
Well,
eBay
hold
this
on,
week.
What
hold
were you
on
saying, number
for
one?
Oh, sorry,
hold
sorry.
on
Yep.
for 2 eggs of a puppy's
What were you
tail here
saying, number
because Clubby's super tired and I want to let him
Oh,
know.
don't worry about that. I don't care. I'm
Baby,
not. I'm
I
not tired.
sent you some screenshots
Of what?
of the malware blocking the comic from me.
I thought again. This is happening.
Yeah,
again?
but this time when I tried to click on close, it just kept taking me to more malware and it would not go away. And what's really bad is that it was blocking it in the top by one advertisement, in the middle by a casino advertisement, and on the bottom by some sort of phishing thing. So I tried on my phone, I tried on my laptop.
But it
I
worked
couldn't.
last week, but then now this week it didn't. Huh?
Yeah, so it's insane, and I want to read the comic. So I actually asked
Don't worry about it.
Andrew to go out onto the flea bay and see if he could buy me all the comics. Now, Mark had already sent me the link, but I didn't act fast enough on that link that Mark sent, and I'll tell you why. The comics were $50, and
no,
you
no,
guys told me that was a reasonable amount to pay, and I was prepared to pay that. But that person wanted $60 to deliver
Yeah,
to Canada.
Don't buy anything. That's not what this segment's about.
More than the comics.
Don't buy anything. The whole point is so easy. I mean, I thought we've solved that aspect, that hurdle where it was easy to get them to you. Now because you did it last week, and now it's doing this to you.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
doing
what
weird
to-
stuff. Mark, if you could send it to me so that I could download it on that awesome app that Chris Persia gave me, I would be so grateful.
I think
Initially, I
we'll
was just
talk.
gonna
We'll
do-
talk after the show.
Initially, I was just going to do videos about reviewing Trek comics, but I mean, it grew into this.
No,
but-
I like reading these with you. I also like getting your thoughts on these. I love the discussion. I love going through it with the chat. And I think everyone is looking forward to going through all of these
That's
comics.
okay. Just next time, tell me so I'll know not to tell everybody we're reviewing a Trek comic. If we're not reviewing a Trek comic, I need to know.
I want to, but you know.
I mean, when we got started tonight, I did not know that until just now. But it's not a
Yeah,
biggie.
Well,
We'll
no, I
live.
just didn't want to hinder anyone else. I thought you and Mark might review it, and I would just sit
Oh, no,
tight,
no, no,
and
no, no,
I
no.
would read the comic next week.
Don't worry about that. And if we all can't do it, it's not a problem.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone.
don't
I
worry.
really
We'll
tried.
make sure
You guys
it's
should see the
available for you.
screenshots. It's pretty
I
bad.
want
There
you
was
to be able to see it.
there was about 1 millimeter that I was allowed to see. So trying to read the comic, I would not have been able to see any.
Yeah,
of the
I know.
images.
It's just crazy. Sean Carter, thank you for the super chat. He says, my dad had a signal for me when I was acting up. He'd look at me sideways and say, "You're cruising." Probably say cruising for a bruising like mine.
Yeah, I
was.
was just gonna say that.
I tried to call his bluff on it once. R.I.P. Dad. Oh my goodness.
Sending you a hug, Sean.
Big
I'm
time,
sending
sir.
you a hug, sweetheart.
Thank you, Michael Beacom.
Oh, be
for
seeing
the
you.
super chat. Be seeing you.
Take care, Michael.
See you.
Thank you for everything, Michael. Please
Yes, thank
tell
you, buddy.
Cassandra that we said good night, and thank you so much for your marvelous conversation this evening. We'll see you on Saturday night.
Yes, indeed. Was that Michael? Hungry boy? What the hell are you talking about? Never mind. I'm not gonna say it in the chat. I just saw something in the chat. I'm like, what the dude? Well, let's see what you got there, Mark. Hell, we have
All right,
plenty of time
go for it.
for me anyway. I mean, number one
Okay.
is the one who has more work to do. So
Let's make this
A comic.
full screen. So we did it both at the same time.
sorry,
So we always do. Yeah.
be suing you.
Yeah.
I didn't do it again that time.
Okay, you do it.
That wasn't
You
me.
do it.
Minimus.
Was someone playing Ouija?
That's a no. That's a him that be suing you. That's a
Oh yeah.
Fire Sign Theater quote. No one and anyone here in the chat who knows who Fire Sign Theater is going to get my admiration for your weirdness and obscure knowledge for eternity.
Watch Fiona. Watch Fiona respond.
So yeah, Fire Sign. No googling.
Yeah, no Googling. We don't
Hungry
Google
Boy
on this show.
probably knows. He's old enough
Or goggling?
and weird enough.
Yeah.
Fire
So-
Sign Theater.
The Outer
But they stop right
Limits.
there. Dell.
Get out of town.
Yeah. So I was buying. I have Wrath of Khan in my search for eBay every day,
Right.
and also Wrath of KAHN, because a lot of times people
Yeah.
spell Khan KAHN.
Yeah.
So this was the when I got to meet Leonard Nimoy. This came up for auction for $8. So I wonder which one of my classmates was selling this, but yeah. So this was Wrath of Khan. It was at fundraisers. I've talked about this many times, but it was June 3rd. It was my sister's birthday, but sorry, Jackie, I'm going to see Wrath of Khan with Dad that night. So they had the invitation. It's kind of in bad shape, but I figure if I ever get lucky enough to see a cast member again, I should have had Laura Banks sign these when she was in my house, who was the navigator. I had her sign a bunch of things, but I should have had her sign this, which was, damn it, Mark. I thought of it the other day. Damn it. But she's going to be at the Star Trek convention in August, actually, talking about Wrath of Khan.
Near you?
No, in Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas? Oh. Yeah, she's there. She's got a book out. But yeah, so this is cool to have. I said, let me buy this. And whenever you buy something, you got to pay $5 shipping. So like, let me see what the seller also has. What the seller also has for sale, because you're paying the $5 either. And you get the combined shipping. It's like getting the another item for basically for free anyway. And you don't ever want to buy one item that's cheap like that if you can avoid it. Just eBay tip there. So yes, I love Outer Limits. So this is actually Outer Limits number 17, which is a reprint of issue number 1. But 17 and 18 are reprints of issues 1 and 2. So maybe they knew they were going to cancel the book, and they just thought, well, they'd already solicited orders, so let's just reprint it again. But for some strange reason, in my comic book database, 17 is the most valuable issue in the run, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe it was limited copies. I don't
Fiona,
know.
it was nothing. I mentioned Firesign Theater, and just figured now that no one would know who it is, and Raquel said you would, but don't worry about it. It's too obscure. I'm bothering to explain it because I'm dumb. Go ahead.
So this comic was, don't drop it, was number 70, October 1968. So this comic is a little bit older than I am. So
not by much.
Not by much, but yeah, a little bit older.
Younger than me.
It smells a lot better than me. It's not bad,
pretty good
right?
shape.
God, for something 55 years old, thankfully it's not decrepit right now, but art's not bad. I mean, it's not. But look at that hair on the guy, but Dan Dalton, big hair there. God, he's got hair worse than Christopher Pike on the new Strange Nude Worms. But I haven't read this yet. Just took it out of the bag. But yeah, it's not in bad shape. A little color. It's not white. It's very, very off-white, I guess you'd say, but not bad. Yeah. So Outer Limits, if you haven't watched Outer Limits, I don't know if
That looks
this
like
is
Jack Sparling art to me. Could be wrong.
Let's see if do they list who's. Do they give credits here?
They usually don't. Those old.
Undoubted, right? Yeah, they didn't, right? I don't know if this ties into an issue from episode of the show, but if you haven't watched Outer Limits, God,
What issue number say?
This is number 17, but it's a reprint of issue number 1.
It's a reprint. It's not. Yes, I don't know.
So 17 and 18 reprinted issues 1 and 2. But
it's
it's
nice.
not
Pretty
bad,
good shape.
Not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So far, there's nothing cut out of it.
Matthew concurs. It looks like Sparling, but it's a reprint for number 1. You said?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, because when I saw it, it said, "Oh, that's the cover from number 1." It's $5. I'm like, $7. I'm like, let me grab it. And
great, nice art. It is Sparling, not Starling.
Yeah, but I wonder if do they say it's a reprint in this one? They didn't even mention it's a reprint. A lot of times they'll say,
Well, Marvel and DC used to, but they're
right?
not under an obligation really.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Ooh, free catalog. If you need extra money, but just know 10 people, you can make $500, $100, or $200 more in your spare time. Or you could start a YouTube channel. No, just kidding. Oh, remember the puppies? Yeah, the little puppies. So, yeah, this looks. I haven't read it. I guess the alien creatures slowly but steadily fade and fade till suddenly the beam holds on empty space. So I guess they defeated the aliens, obviously, at the end. So, yeah, let's see. The invaders are from another planet. Our body chemistry is different by one atom of carbon, but a fatal difference for them. We'd have half enough of your world. Can you return us to ours? Oh yeah. Oh, so he sends them back. Yeah.
All right. Del Pub. I just pulled it up. Yeah, 60. You're right. It's a reprint. 36 pages. It's a reprint from 1964, the first issue. Yes, Sparling. Art and inks and pencil and inks with Paul S. Newman script. And yep, there you go. Pretty much. I wonder how many other issues they did after this.
18 was the last issue.
18 would be the last one. Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's a reprint. A lot of them were just reprints at this point.
18 was a reprint too. Yeah, 18 was a reprint of issue number 2.
Well, there you go.
I thought it was interesting this show, and I know Raquel loves old
Larry. It's Jack Sparling.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I like Jack. I've always liked Jack Sparling stuff.
Well, I'd own this in a heartbeat.
I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
You'd buy it.
You know my taste. I just love this stuff. I'm not sure I would read that. You know what I would probably do?
That's a
What?
good shape.
I would 100% put that in a very, very sexy frame from Michael's, possibly a shadow box.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I would put that up in the house. I mean, that's
Very
that's
cool.
really
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean,
Another thing you could do, and Retroblasting has done this. He took some, scanned the cover and printed on really nice paper.
Oh,
you
Michael
could
did that.
frame
That's
that.
smart.
Yeah, you could frame it, and then you could put this, in somewhere safe out of the light, obviously, and then,
Yeah.
if you printed this on photo paper, it's going to come out pretty darn nice. But yeah, I love the cover to this. It's
a nice
and
cover.
the aliens
Yeah.
actually are not evil aliens. By spoiler in the end of it, they're
That's
just
They're
a
Gene
here.
Roddenberry aliens.
Vic Prezio cover.
Yeah.
That's great.
Give credit where
Classic
credit's
shit.
due.
Sure love that.
All right,
May I please ask
Don
you how
Power
much you
Ranger.
paid for that?
Don Ranger Power. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, good night, Don
Take care, Donnie.
Ranger Power. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry for interrupting you, Clobby. I
No,
just
it's
wanted to ask Mark how much you paid for that.
Only $7, and I'll sell it to you for 10. No, just $7. Yep. So I bought
Wow.
the invitation. Here was like $4, and then then you got to pay $5 for shipping. So I said, let me see what else they have that's cool for sale. So this is an eBay seller. I got to leave him A+ feedback, but shipped it in a nice
Oh, well.
envelope with cardboard and written do not bend, do not bend. So a lot of times
It always freaks me out when Clobby's first reaction to something you show is, wow, that's in good shape. Because I know that somebody like Clobby doesn't say stuff like that. He doesn't speak hyperbolically. Also, can I just say, Lisa!
Lisa,
Hi,
Hey,
beautiful.
Lisa.
Hey,
Nice to
Lisa.
see you.
good to see you. But yeah, it is in pretty nice shape, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and Steven saying, you could use Photoshop or something to fix it. Like, the only thing that will probably bring the grade down, one thing to bring the grade down on is
I mean, it's not perfect. but
cover
it's-
spine. It's not perfect. It's not
No,
bad.
it's
the-
not
I'm
perfect.
talking the interior. Your interior
Yeah, it's
pretty
is a
good.
well-read comic. Your spine
that's
is not great,
beautiful.
but for a 50-some-odd-year-old book, the spine's pretty good. But your
That's-
interior
Yeah.
looks fairly crisp.
Not bad, yeah. So what would you grade this Clobbering Times roughly
Well, I don't-
from just seeing it from afar without holding it?
Oh
I guess.
man, hey.
I'm putting you on the spot. I apologize.
G, VG maybe.
G,
I mean,
right.
that's the
Yeah,
old grade.
G,
They don't even use that system anymore. I don't even. They've changed it so much. I don't even use that.
Yeah.
And again, I'd almost go to a G to GV to VG, but I'm not. Maybe a little under VG. But I'm not holding it in my hand. I'm not looking at it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Did you go to the staple page? That's one of the first things you have to do.
Yep. Let's go to the
God, I
Staples
love
page,
your
yep.
brain. I love you so much, Clobby.
Oh, you're too kind.
Let's
Always
see.
check your
Staples aren't
staples.
bad. Staples
Decent
are
stapling.
clean.
Considering
Yeah,
how old
they're
those
clean.
staples are, always make sure
Not
look they're
separated.
adhering. They're not. There's not really a lot of damage for the. In other words, they're not tearing into the book too much. It's not much of a hole. It's not super. It's yellowed, but yeah, it's not It's not in danger of being ripped through there. So.
Yep.
What would cause that if somebody was trying
reprint.
to straighten the book out by putting it under something heavy, and that's why you don't like to see the staples tearing into the pages?
It's something. Any number of things can cause it, just normal wear and tear. But yeah. I mean, rough. Slamming it around, opening it a lot, opening it roughly for over the course of years.
Oh,
mostly. Again,
Yeah, so
bear in mind
a
it's
lot
a
of
reprint, but still it's old.
yeah.
a lot of times the center page will tear through the staple, so it's floating. It's just in the book, and it's because it's only that little section is holding this this whole book together. The other pages are it's compressed on top of everything else, but this first page, a lot of times the corner of the staple will start to cut through,
I see what you're
the
saying.
staple you'll have like a hole there, and after time, like Clobber Times is saying,
You got to look at every page,
you're
every
rough
corner.
with it, yeah, you're rough with
look
it,
at your back page.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spine.
Yeah, well, that's a really beautiful comic,
Coloration.
but I don't think I don't. Oh well, like I know that your office is already full, but I think something like that should be up in the lounge. That should be in the family room or in the lounge or in the parlor, wherever you live in the world, whatever you call it.
The wife agrees with that.
Yeah. She's like, that's it. No more stuff in the living area.
I want to get a spinner rack and just put
that'd be
books
cool. I wish I had one.
and Star Trek comics in it.
Well, yeah, who doesn't?
God, I wish I had a spinner rack.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for one. I'm actively looking for one.
And well, back in college, we rented a poster space on the wall, so I put them on the ceiling. So I have to do that here someday.
Lots of people did that. It's funny that was in the United States and in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. You know how cool that would look? Don't you have room in one of your bathrooms or something, or at your front door by your keys? I mean, that's such a.
I'll probably scan it and do something with it.
That can't go in a box, man.
I found my Corbinite maneuver poster from Mondo the other day.
Oh no way!
I got so many cool posters and not enough wall space. Someday maybe we'll get you need a bigger house. That's the problem. Or the other thing I wish I had was, how they have those poster displays in stores and you go through and you flip through the posters?
You can buy those.
I wish I had one of those. That'd be really cool.
You can buy one of those. Why did you buy one?
Where can you get one? I don't know.
You can get them at auction shops. You can also buy them on eBay. You can buy them from the manufacturer. I think actually Vistaprint may have some. Do you have Vistaprint in the United States?
Yeah, we have Vistaprint. Yeah.
I would ask around, but who else you could ask is anyone at a con who has theirs loaded up. Just ask them where they bought it and how much they paid,
cool.
or if they have a used one that
you gotta find one used,
that they'd be willing to part with. But I'd ask folks at the local con or at a big con. I'd go to all the poster guys and ask if I were you. I don't have room for that.
Good idea.
But I would use every single wall in my house, but
my
I
office,
do feel sorry for my husband,
cool,
right?
Cool
because
place to have flip
like I have I think he's almost 7 feet tall. I have a 7 foot tall animatronic Area 51 alien that's in my office,
right,
and I have another little 4-footer in the basement. And I don't know why or how he puts up with me, but I got Star Trek stuff and sci-fi stuff everywhere, and every room is a library. If there aren't floor to ceiling books in every room of your house, you're missing out on life. This Outer Limits, this has got to go up somewhere.
They're saying both our prospective spouses really earn extra credit for putting up with our craziness, right?
Yes. For me, it's like books and sci-fi, and for you, it's just like you're a traveling comic book convention. You're a traveling pop culture expo. You're like, but you're stationary. You're just in that one spot. And I can't wait until everyone at YouTube figures that out and they realize that it's Mark D with a C's Culture Expo. That's what your channel is, and monetization. Because you yeah, I don't know,
I
man.
have to work on that. Yeah.
You need
on
like
that
3
appeal, but-
houses, but I love what you do. But for me, like, what can I do? Like a person who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones, and I live in a book house, so I'm not going to throw books.
Well, if we read Professor's first story, floor part of the floor fell through from too many books. You know,
You'll know,
Books are
and it'll
heavy.
be Alberta. Then everyone in the chat will be like, "It's Raquel."
So Hungry Boy is not a fan of the inking in this book.
Oh, how come? What's wrong?
He said no more close-ups. I guess he's just not a fan of the inking. I don't know if you could elaborate.
mean,
Probably,
Jack
I
inked
think the
himself,
hair,
so
maybe the hair, the details, and some of those.
it
on
could be the
the
coloring.
faces.
I don't know. I mean, it's I mean, Sparlin, he used to have to ink himself there, HB. So it was a reprint. So but when he did it back in '64, so yeah, I don't know.
Larry says I buy blank audio cassettes from a Canadian manufacturer. Yes, we do have some stuff that's available, and I think that poster sorter thing that's sort of like the inside of a jukebox when we were kids. You remember the diner jukebox where you could flip through all of the albums? I think they have those for posters, and they're readily available here. If Mark can't find one, Larry, in the United States, I'll help him find one up here, because you're right. We do have lots of weird stuff up here. You guys are the purveyors of the finest pop culture, but we have all the weird crap. And Lisa says, I watched that episode of Hoarders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
funny.
people have been, unfortunately, have died from hoarding. You know, we laugh.
I'm
but,
not a hoarder. I'm a very
I know
neat
you're not
and tidy
laughing, but yeah, from like the stacks falling on them.
yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
What did Minimus say? Because Minimus doesn't live in a house. He lives in a library. What did he say? My wife already had a ton of books when we got married. She inherited my books. And the stuff we've bought over 15 years, it never stops. I know, but you have the coolest house ever. Have you ever thought about opening a bookstore? You should open a bookstore, Minimus.
Yeah. And I love his new bat boat. That looked really cool.
The new bat boat, yeah.
I know nothing about that.
A bat boat. He put it on. Must have put a picture online.
You need to get the surfing Joker with that in the picture with the surfing Batman. Yep.
Need.
Oh, Kal-El. Mark D with a C. Plastic swinging panel flip poster displays, 5 and 10 wall panels in 8 frame sizes.
Oh, poster displays for sale. Awesome. Someone reverse enabling me. I love it. Thank you.
Man, you got reverse enabled by Kal-El.
Hey, it's your fault. You trained us well, purveyor of all things enabling.
Yep.
Much appreciated. How much does it cost, though?
We'll find out. Because if
I'm
you
joking.
can't find one,
yeah.
I'll
it's very
I'll have
cool.
a look-see around here, see if I can't find you one.
Yeah.
5 and 10 wall panels at 8 frame size. Very nice.
Yeah, but remember those are double feed, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget those are double feed. So you feed them
20 posters. Yeah.
Yeah, they go in back to back, right?
Yeah.
So if you got a 10, you'd have room for a 20.
20. Yeah. Oh, this looks nice. Yeah. Imagine flipping through all the Star Trek movie posters in order.
It would be amazing. Amazing. I almost swore. I'm so excited for you. I almost swore. How sad is that? I'm just so excited for it. It's so cool.
See, I answered your art question, Clobby. Not going to apologize.
Oh, what happened?
Also, the layout is boring as new trick, whereas the cinematography of Outer Limits was gripping. Gotcha. Well, it's just a comic book. No one cares about comics. You know that.
Minimus
Didn't bother
says,
me. I mean,
Minimus says, you mean a bookstore? As in to sell? Oh, I've just sworn in front of poor Minimus. He says, bite your tongue. You have to bite something. I think it's a tongue. Minimus, you're a naughty boy, and I love you. Larry found them from 210.
Thank you very much. Yep. I'm going to add it to my list.
from what?
$210.
Lovely.
For what?
Thanks. The poster
Oh,
thing
all right,
at
gotcha.
$210. Yep.
Frack that.
Depending on the
says Madam
size.
Cropper.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness! Well, we've kept y'all here long enough, and McCrell probably has, work to do. She probably want to get out of that hot room, so we can begin to mosey on.
It's a school night.
It's a school night, folks. So we'll start off with our wonderful first officer. Number one, any closing words?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank everyone who joined us tonight. Thank you for the marvelous conversation. I love all of your personalities. I love all of your areas of expertise, and some of you are subject matter experts, and some of you just have delightful personalities and opinions. And I just love hanging around with all of you. So thank you for coming here and supporting CLOBBERIN's channel and for supporting this show. You were all wonderful conversationalists. I had such a wonderful time. I also want to thank every single person who sent Clobby a gift. It keeps the lights on at this virtual comic book shop, and I appreciate you supporting my friend. It means a lot to me, and I thank each and every one of you for doing that. It is so cool. I want to thank the Wrenches. You are the unsung heroes of YouTube. You don't get paid to do this, and yet there you are, promoting communities, promoting creators, building communities, and just being amazing people who I love to hang out with. So thank you for all of the hard work that you do here in our community. I just love you to pieces, Maces, as the saying goes. I have a new book coming out. It is Science Fiction Tales Part 2 or Volume 2. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet. And I'm not releasing each one of the stories one by one on Amazon like I did the first time around because I didn't make any money. And everyone just sort of stepped forward and said, why don't you go on Patreon? And at first I didn't listen. And then everyone said, look, you really need to do this. Like, we want to support your work. So just go do that. And I listened. I just decided to set aside my own fears and my own misgivings and just do what you all said. And many of you, 16 of you, in fact, showed up with your families to support my new book. And I'm so grateful. It's a science fiction, episodic, classic science fiction short stories. And it's not being supported by corporations right now. So Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K, and my beautiful dog Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, with a C and his whole family. Damn it, I love you folks. Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, JT Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth. Thank you for supporting my work. I have released that work to those fine folks before anyone else. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to adequately thank them for what they're doing for me. It's incredible. It's like they've come together to become my publishing house because no publishing house wants science fiction short stories. These are truly amazing people. I just love each and every one of them. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I also want to point you in the direction of following Mark. Marvelous maker. We also forced him to get a Patreon. He's so talented. He's a wonderful maker, makes really cool science fiction stuff. So please give him a follow and show some support for him on Twitter as he tries to get back the monetization for his channel, as they have mistaken him for trying to sell toys to kids when he's actually just a he is a human comic book convention. He's a human pop culture expo, and he
and I
has
never sell any of my stuff anyway.
No, he doesn't do that. And so he needs some support as he works through explaining our world, our nerd and geek worlds to YouTube. They don't understand. So I would appreciate it if you could follow my friend on Patreon or get a hold of him on Twitter and stand behind him as he explains our weird and wonderful world. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Clobby. Clobby, I love you with all my heart. You're one of my best friends in real life, one of the best friends I've ever had in my whole life, in this crazy, weird world we live in. I adore you. Thank you for creating this space for us, for being such a wonderful friend to one and all. I enjoy your company immensely. You're just number one to me, baby. I love you. Mwah.
Love you. Thank you for those wonderful words. You're too kind. You're the best. Love you. Number one is the best, everybody. That's why she's number one and always will be. And number 755,000 would be, of course, Mark D with a C.
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah,
that's just more like it. Chief Engineer, what's up, bro? Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank
Final
you so
words?
much. Yeah, sorry I was late. Thankfully it wasn't
Damn it,
due to
Mark!
clam pizza. It was to semi-normal pizza, so mostly normal pizza. So it wasn't Abby normal pizza.
All right, you know what?
Agonizer, please.
I deserve that. But thank you for everyone in the chat. Has been awesome tonight. We're typical, had a ton of fun here. Great episodes. It was a great time tonight. So much appreciated. And Raquel, thank you so much. And everyone go support Raquel on her Patreon. And yeah, unfortunately I got demonetized, but that's all right. Stuff happens. Hopefully we'll be back soon with Raquel's help and other people's help. So I got to put together a video to illustrate what we're doing, having fun on my channel, showing all my collection. And it's not really, it's an adult channel, not directed at kids. But if you want, thank you for Shooter and Brian Hepburn, just supporting me on Patreon. I've got the Doomsday Machine available there. So much appreciated everyone who was a member of the channel and also who supported me. And thank you, Auburn Towns and Raquel. This weekend, no Sunday Night Geekery, but probably be back the next weekend. And just everyone have a great weekend coming up, right? Hopefully stay cool wherever you are. If you're in the U.S.,
Oh, yeah.
big heat wave. So stay safe and stay cool and do not play any Ouija this weekend either.
Of course not. Oh, well, some show notes and shout outs, everybody. Let's see here. First up, tomorrow night, I'm not exactly sure I'm going to be able to do, but I think I'm going to be over there with the great Nick Weiser, our buddy 32 Flavors, with D-Bud and the lads. The Friday night comic shop talk, 8:30 p.m. Central, reviewing 4 more issues of the Steve Ditko Amazing Spider-Man run, getting close to the end of the Ditko run. Then, of course, there is Saturday Night Star Trek, starting a new leg in our journey, our ongoing mission to review all of Star Trek 66 through 05 only. We are now ready to begin with Star Trek Voyager. We're going to focus on the pilot and the pilot alone. So we can make it might be a little bit of a shorter show. We'll see, because we got the after that, we start back into the grind of 4 episodes a week. So we're going to start off with Star Trek Voyager Caretaker, the pilot. And then Sunday night, since he's going to be out of town, he won't know it any better. I'm going to do Sunday Night Geekery on his channel, but he won't know it.
Go for it.
I'm just kidding. There's no Geekery this week on Mark's channel. Just kidding. But Monday night, I'll be hanging with J-Man on his channel. It'll be our usual 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, with our continuing chronicling of every adventure of the Legion of Superheroes and Adventure Comics right now. But beyond that, all their appearances chronological from the Silver Age to the Bronze Age. And then, of course, more stuff and things will happen, regular shows and all that kind of stuff throughout the course of the week. And again, I want to thank the great WDW Pro for having me on his show. earlier today. I was very honored to be there. And then, of course, as always, I was great. Had a great time on Midnight's Edge After Dark with Tom and those boys as well. We're coming on here. So our shout outs, of course, to our great wrenches are as follows: Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher; Chris Persia, the Vindicator Wrench of the Great White North, the Wrench of Iron; D. Bud Martin; Lord Thoth, God of the Wrenches; hail the Lady Thoth; and of course, Avon lives, long live the Legion. My partner in crime on earth, B, fellow Legionnaire and reviewer extraordinaire, and Wrench without fear, J-Man. Hungry Boy, master of the Club Boney, and comic artist extraordinaire, Stephen M, Kal-El, Supreme Wrench, Super Wrench, the real Super Wrench. Maddie's daddy wielder of Wrench Mjolnir, Thor in Vegas, that rascally old wrench himself, Fanty Outsider E, and Clobber Time's own Music Meister, the great Maximum Redstone. And everyone else out there, hey, just appreciate you all being here. We got a super chat. Oops.
You do.
Sean Carter, thank you so much, my friend. That you're too kind. He says, while we're on, thank you. I would like to extend my own to all of you.
Mhm.
My model channel is up
Good.
to 336 subs. Oh,
Good.
If we can get that link in there, and if someone can get the link, I'd appreciate that for Sean's channel.
Good.
This is just a thank you to everyone here. No need to mention the name. Hey, no, look,
No.
you did not have to. If I should have thought about it anyway. You didn't have to do that to get a link. We're glad to help anybody else's channel. So
Yes.
there we go, right there, the sci-fi model guy. I would appreciate it if those of you who have not would please go to our buddy Sean Carter's channel and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And all
Yes.
that good stuff.
Amazing work on Sean's channel. He has
Yeah.
beautiful
Channel.
stuff. So
He's one
And,
of us. And
we-
an incredibly generous person who is here to support everyone in the community.
Right.
And I like that people are supporting him back. And that's just typical of all of Clobby's friends to step forward and say, "Hey, don't worry, we got your back,
Right.
friend." I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
And Sean Carter deserves it.
Absolutely. And of course, big shout out to the lovely Fiona, Lisa. Thank you for being here. Mr. Angel, Matthew Pounder, JT Kirk, Sean Carter, Oliver Bellamonte, Larry, Donnie Pearson. Oh man, so many great friends were here with us tonight. Mega Cropper.
Oh my goodness, Larry's listening to Saturday Night Star Trek from 2.5 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
That's back when I was a basket case. I thought I was gonna get eaten alive. Back then I remember when I was like reading so fast and just I was so scared.
Man. We were so new. I'd hate to go back and hear that now. How terrible we were.
Cringe, hey, Club.
We were terrible. I'm not. I can't listen to I can't listen to my new shows either. So,
Love you, Larry. Thank you, honey.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that, buddy. Sita, it was nice meeting you. Of course. Thank you for being here. It was always great to meet new people. Who else was here with us tonight? Minimus was here with us. Let's see. Could not be reached for further comment. Hey, great artwork. In fact. Could not be reached for further comment. Let's show you if you want to see how his art look, how great his art looks, without the lettering on there. This is truly amazing. That is beautiful.
amazing, yeah.
Could not be reached for further comment. That is extraordinary artwork, my friend. And we'll leave that up there while we're saying the other goodbyes.
I went right to Batgirl.
No.
Love the purple.
Oh, it's just appearing for me right now.
Oh, it took a second, I guess. I'm sorry.
Oh, oh my God.
Incredible stuff.
Oh
Incredible.
my God. This guy is unbelievable.
Great stuff.
Oh my God. Dude.
Beautiful art, sir.
This is amazing. This is so good. I can't even wrap my head around it.
Yep, it is truly great stuff. I'm going to say some Touring Machine. Thank you for being here with us tonight. The great Michael Beacom. Thank you so much, my friend. I'll talk to you later about stuff. I really appreciate you. Let's see here. Brian Hepburn. Alaric Harrison was here, I do believe. Who else? Takes a while to Apollomies, Minion, and the pupper. Be careful out there, you and that lovely pupperoni. We miss you. Hadn't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Who else was here? Westward Line. Excuse me, Westward Smile. Westward Smile. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Dad Man and the Dad Man clan were here. Picasso. Always great to see you, my friend. Thank you for being a clobbering friend, Parker Luck.
Great.
Parker Luck, Ray Lucard, Lemon Pie. Let's see. Bop, 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 bop.
Right, Larry, 3 cat women.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they got all of them. They got Julie, they got Lee, and they've got Eartha.
Uh-huh.
Love them. I love that drama. I mean, that's just incredible. And yes, I can name every one of them. Who couldn't? Let's see. All right, let's see.
Beauty.
Matthew Pounder was here with us as well. Zathras was here. DJ Ronnie G was here.
And I just want to say to Matthew Pounder, I think it's really cool that you always follow everyone in the community. I really appreciate you. I think you are a very good friend. Thank you for following all of our friends who are trying to make really cool content, and people who are makers, authors, photographers, artists. Matthew Pounder, I think you're a really cool cat. And I want to extend that also to my buddy Mega Cropper. Mega Cropper, you don't talk very much, but you've been around for a really long time, and you've been a very good friend to us. So tonight, I really appreciated you interacting with us and joining in on the conversation. You are also a super cool cat, and I enjoy your company immensely, and I'm so flattered that you joined in, knowing that you are a man of few words. So thanks for that.
Indeedishness. We're RJ Godzilla and Dave C. Whew, I was going to forget him for a minute there. Almost got everybody. Now, Lil Scotty was here.
Mm-hmm.
See, Juxtapose was here. See, you got it. You go, Oliver Belamonte. I think I already said it, but just in case. You never know, because my memory's garbage. Garbaggio. Captain Infinity and Beyond was here. Timicus Maximus. Joseph Dredd was here. Who comes to judge? All right. And I do believe we may have everybody now. What do you think, Marco Polo? We got everybody?
No, you got to be missing someone. There's always never get everyone the first time around. Yeah,
you're such a negative Nelly, but you're always right.
I'm not always right.
No, it is hard to get absolutely everyone, and that's why the boss. That's why he writes down everyone's name
only on Saturday night.
On Saturday Night Star Trek. He writes it all down. People think that they're wondering why he's like, just a minute here and just a minute here. Yes. He's actually making a list, he's checking it twice, and then he delivers on who's naughty and nice.
And there we go. Simply Steve was here, but other than that, now I'm going to go way on. Penny was here as well, Penny. But other than that, I'm going to just say that's that. That's all of them. That's everybody. That's just, as I scroll back, Claude Salling was here, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Claude Salling was here, boss.
Ravenscroft was here. See, you can't jump the gun. You never know. And that's about pretty much, Bubba Doom was here as well. So
Bubba Doom!
Don't count out Bubba Doom. I've told you guys many times. Don't count him out. And what are you doing? You tell me it's over. Could not be reached. I think I already did that one. Did him, just in case. J-Man was here earlier.
Clobby's
already called him out.
To town. I love you, JT Kirk.
Yeah, there you go, Captain Clobby. He sees you. Read by Nature, a new friend. See.
Yes.
Keely Chow, roll that tide, Dave. See.
TZ Burton.
He sees you when you're wanking. He knows you're. Sorry, different.
TZ Burton, thank you so much for joining us.
Who?
Or TZ, I guess I should say. I'm around the Americans.
Hey, TZ Burton. Stop Barton. Okay, now I'm finally convinced. I've gotten everybody, Mark. Make your bet now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a gambling man. So I'll go with yes. Okay.
Okay.
So you think I'm clear?
I think you might be clear, but
Mighty Orbots. So we were both wrong.
Oh, Mighty Orbots. We almost forgot Mighty Orbots.
Oh, I wouldn't forget anybody. I'm going this back. Going for this back. I think I already got Brian Hepburn, but I'm gonna say just anyway, just in case. I went this far back though, so I'm gonna go all the way to the back. Yeah. Oh my God, you're both wrong, Gwagnar. I tried to warn you because he didn't say anything until later, so until the beginning. So, all right, everybody. I guess that I'm now shouted out. Everybody.
You definitely got everyone. Yep.
I hope. So, thank you all for being here with us tonight.
Well, what about our Jennifer Lawrence? She's everywhere. So
she can shout herself out.
She was first. Okay, Claudia.
Yeah, she was
She
first.
can shout herself out. She can be first on. Well, I can't believe what I was about to say.
She can shout herself out.
She can be first on. Never mind.
Never mind.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. You are the best. So much fun at the clubhouse. And it's all because of you. Hope to see you here again on Saturday night Star Trek. Same Trek time, same Clubby channel. Good night, everybody.
And they probably redesigned the whole sick bay, too. I know engineers, they love to change things.
I don't care. I don't care how many Cardassians you have to kill, find tomorrow. Is that clear? I'm going to hold you to that.
By your command, Imperious Leader.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
I just love clobbering time.